Goes 5 innings, doesn't give up any runs. Well, they didn't give up any runs, period. The bullpen was great yesterday, too. And 25-8. We just keep adding to the win column. 25-8 since June 1st. There's now 8 teams in baseball, Woody, with 50-plus wins. And the Marlins are one of them. 29th in payroll. We can just go on and on about it. 29th in payroll with $80 million. And, again, there's teams that are just awful that are spending 3-4 times more money. We got 2 teams over $300 million. One of them's really good and one's really bad. Obviously, Dodgers are the best team in baseball. And the Mets are just god-awful for whatever reason. That guy just keeps spending money, and guys come from other teams, and they're injured. They don't play well.
Joe, you got a chance to win a lot of fans back, I think, with this team, right? They're fun to watch now. Again, it's going to come down to what they do at the deadline.
I hope so, man, because
if they start getting rid of guys at the deadline.
They're not getting rid of
I can't imagine they will.
They already got guys that they got rid of to get these guys. They're not going to do that.
I hope so, man. I hope they're buyers. I hope they find some guys to come in and make a push here. But
let's just. I want to say this because I probably didn't do a good enough job with it yesterday with the skipper on with us. So his thing he was trying to say he's a good guy besides being a really good manager. No matter what happened in the perfect game, he is just a really good manager. I see people still blasting the guy, and I'm like, they're 25-8. The bigger picture for the manager is not to make sure you're entertained, is to make sure he wins games. That's how that's his job. He can't do the other stuff. I wish the guy would have stayed in too, but we need to stop with that. He needs to be fired and awful, and this is why the Marlins are such a bad organ. Like, look at, man, do some dogpiling when they're a bad baseball team, because right now they're not a bad baseball team. They're not. It's not even up for debate how good they're playing, they're pitching. They got a bunch of young guys that have a chance. I know a lot of them are only hitting 230, 240, 250, but a lot of them got off to really bad starts, really bad. Stowers has come on. Casey has come on. Mack now, this guy they bring up from the minor leagues, looks like he's not giving up that job, and he's throwing out runners. So we not only have a catcher that can hit, but he's really good defensively. I think he's thrown out. I see, Woody, they might have said like 17 guys he's thrown out already. So there's a lot of good stories. But what he said was, getting back to what you said, Woody, and he said, listen, man, I know everybody wants us to get rid of guys, but we like this group. We think we can win. And I was going, you're right. But I want you to add some more to it. I don't know how everybody feels about, they got lucky because they've had a couple of guys at third base that just didn't look the part. Norby just doesn't look like he's going to be a frontline third baseman. Paulie's was over there, but Sanoja's been really, really good. We talked about that yesterday, who's been a utility guy and is now getting a chance to be an everyday player, and has been really, really good. Venezuelan, who won the championship, and he was a big part of that as well during the World Baseball Classic. So, yeah, man, we got all kinds of stuff. We've got plenty to get to here this morning, and the Marlins are part of it, man. They are. It's been – I don't know where you rank it, man. I can't remember. Anybody remember last time we were 51-42 and tied with the Phillies now for second in National League East? Speaking of spending money. So they've caught up to that team.
You know, it's funny. It's the only sport, right, that you can do this, where you have teams that spend a ton of money. You have teams that don't spend any money. Right? Every other league is balanced for the most part as far as the salary caps go and the amount that they're spending. There's no difference there.
Well, you know what's crazy, Woody? So the thing about it is, usually if you give me 4 or 5 teams that spend a lot of money, I'm guessing 1 or 2 of them are going to be the best team in baseball most years. Yes. I totally agree. But then you get, like, remember a few years ago, Tampa didn't spend any money. That was a great story. They went all the way through. Didn't they play? They played in the World Series, if I'm not mistaken.
They did. Yeah. It was when I was up there in Tampa. They played in the World Series.
So you know, Woody, to me, that felt like,
they beat the Red Sox in a 7-game series to win the pennant. It was pretty crazy.
And I'm going, man, Tampa, even if they lose in a World Series, it's a big win for where they play and who goes to their games and everything. And by the way, they seem like they're always almost in first place, if not in first place. They're in first place right now, ahead of the Yankees.
I actually saw, it's funny, I saw a tweet yesterday about their new ballpark that they're trying to get up there, which they've been trying to get since.
Yeah, how long they've been trying.
Yeah. They had a model of that thing in the Trop when I was going to those games. That was, I guess, 20 years ago now. Like,
so
it's been a long
I'm going to
time.
ask you, we did a new ballpark, nothing changed. Nothing changed. The football, they're playing in a football facility instead of a baseball facility. Once we get down there and the iconic Orange Bowl location, and it'll be different. And so I didn't know. For sure. I knew nobody like David Sampson and his stepfather. I knew that, but I didn't know for sure. I don't think anybody knew for sure. Like, and they really went after Dade County Hispanic baseball fans. That was what they really targeted. They just did. And it didn't work. Just didn't work. And they had some decent teams. You saw them. You saw the great outfield.
There's some stars here, yep.
And then so I don't know for Tampa. I'm wondering when they get it, because they've got the same problem we do here. They got really good baseball teams, and they don't draw.
So I think Tampa's certainly a much different market. I know it's close by, but I do think it's a much different market than we have here. It's got less of the.
You think a new ballpark?
Yeah, I think it'll work. Like Tampa's got a much less of a like we have better crap to do vibe than Miami does, right? Miami's just like there's a million other things we can do. Tampa people, like, they do care about sport. Like the Lightning, for example, like the Lightning sell out every night.
They turn that into a party, but they've won some championships.
They have. They've played some good hockey.
They actually have been good for how many years now? I mean, even recently, they've been very competitive. They've had some great teams. They got a great team, a really good team right now. We've just knocked them out. They've been knocked out of the playoffs, but
that thing was a genuinely tough ticket, though, to get a Lightning ticket. And they don't have basketball,
right? No.
So I think it would.
I don't hear them barking to get a basketball team because Orlando's too close to them.
Yeah, well, they won't get one there.
That's not going to happen. But it's
just such a different market, though, because I feel like Miami really does have that vibe. Like, if the team is not elite, people will find other stuff to do. That's just always been the thing down here, right?
Yeah,
like the team's got to be really good, unless it's football. People are obviously going to do the football stuff.
But I just so it's funny what we're going through right now and looking at everything, and I look ahead. That's part of what we do. And hey, man, Panthers are going to make a run. They got the horse. They're going to make another run.
But the Panthers are a good example, right? I mean, how many years? Could you couldn't give away a Panthers ticket?
I thought we're going to lose the team.
Yeah, it did feel that way.
I thought if they don't get the right owner, they're going to lose the team, because they could not figure it out. It was a place they were getting guys are coming down here. I called it the 401k team. They were coming down with money to get that home so all their Canadian family members could come down here and get out of those bad winters and hang out on the beach at their homes. And they were at the end, and I just felt like we got a lot of those guys, and it was never taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get this group now that they put together with a great GM and head coach and owner. Owner's all in on this, man. When it comes to horses and it comes to hockey, the man is a Double H king right now. He truly is. Now, Riley did something. They didn't hit, I thought, a high enough ceiling on all their number one picks, but they're good enough to package together to get Giannis. And that's been one of our formulas, is get a star, get 2 stars, and then build around it and build this thing back up while you still can get enough out of those veteran players. And that's what they're counting on with Giannis. I think, once again, it gives you a jolt of sports caffeine, I call it, where you go, damn, I'm looking forward to going to those games again. I had somebody who was getting ready to give up their tickets, and they go, man, we got Giannis. Jeez, man, that's going to be a fun. I don't want to miss that show. That's going to be some freakish nights. They call him the Greek Freak for a reason. So you got that excitement. The Canes, our football team, it's loaded, and that's all I can say. And when you say it now, after what they did last year, even the 3 first-round picks and all the guys that got drafted, they've got themselves a really good team. Through recruiting and through high school recruiting and through the transfer portal, they've really got this thing figured out with the people that Mario has with them, as well as Mario, who's just a relentless recruiter. Like nothing like this guy. He is that poor wife of his. She must have a big family to go visit because that dude is always working. And then you got this baseball team, which has just been a great surprise, just a big, big surprise. Where they were before June 1st and to win this many games again has just been incredible. So, yeah, well, I'm curious. We got one more tonight for the sweep, back-to-back sweeps. If they can beat Seattle tonight, and then, of course, 3 with Cleveland coming in the weekends. And I hope more people get a chance to go out there to the ballpark. And I know we got a World Cup game coming up here that's going to be a great game, 5 o'clock this Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium. Kane and Holland, England versus Norway. By the way, did you see the Norway story? See, Norway had to move hotels. I think they're staying something happened. Where it was in Fort Lauderdale they were staying and had to move. Some crazy story, and the players go, "We got to get out of here," and move. So they called FIFA and got moved to a different place so they could try to get some sleep and everything else. But so yeah, we're going to quarterfinals for that. But I hope everybody gets a chance to go see a baseball game. If you like baseball, just go out and take a look. Again, I'm not here to sell tickets. I don't care what you do. It's your money. You do what you want. That's not my job. I've always said that from day one when I decided to do this, is not rip fans. I've had other guys here at the station rip them. I'm not telling you how to spend money. Because if, we have this every day. I'll get 10, Woody, we see it all the time. We get 10 text messages that will come in every few seconds. And, dude, why are we not talking about football? Dude, you're not talking enough about this. You're not talking enough about my favorite sport. You haven't mentioned this kid. He's from our backyard. And so you're never getting everybody happy. We got something for everybody, and that's okay. I got a couple brother-in-laws that think hockey's number one. They go, no, hockey's the most popular sport. Right now, hockey's the most popular sport. I mean, and I go, look at, man, it is fun what they put together. It's been great, but it's not the most popular sport in this town. But it is for you, and that's all that matters, man. And it's for the sellouts that they get every friggin' night now. And they're growing. I see they're going to keep getting a bigger share of TV. The numbers will continue to go up. There's no question. And then we have the other product you probably noticed I didn't mention, the Miami Dolphins. And it's been embarrassing what we have not done. It really has, to think that we've been on this drought since the start of 2000s. It really is. It's incredible. Everybody asks me, hey, tell me what's really shocked you the most. Or tell you, and I go, let me tell you what shocked me the most because I've seen it up close. Is that the Miami Dolphins haven't won a playoff game. Haven't been good enough to win the division to win a playoff game, because that's the formula to finally win a playoff game, is not be a low wild card and go play one of the 2 or 3 best teams in your conference and lose in the first round in cold weather. That's been our formula, and it doesn't work. Or we just had bad teams or dysfunctional teams. And dysfunction is not just players. And I think that's really important. It's just not players. I know we always go right after players. Man, we keep people in the front office too long through the years. I was shocked they did this. I mean, look at, man, it's been a long time since they cleaned it up. Usually we look at the head coach, the GM, and head VP of football operations, and we get rid of one or the other or 2 of 3, but we keep one. And usually I feel like the one guy that gets to the owner and tells his story, and it's able with sports backstabbing, the other guys are able to keep their jobs. So hopefully that's done. But again, there's going to be growing pains, man. And I'm like you, I'm at the end of the road here. My patience is not very good over the last few years. I've gotten in trouble, which I really don't care. But there's things like, what are we doing? How long are we just going to put up with this? How many times are we just going to run into a wall, get knocked down, and get back up? And everybody's going to look and say, oh, it's all right. The wall's going to be gone tomorrow. And you run into the wall again. And it's not that bad. You need to stop saying that. And then we get blown out by horrible teams like the Cleveland Browns. Like, how long are we going to put up with that? How long are we going to go on national TV and get hammered on a Thursday and a Monday night? How long are we going to do that? Bad for business. So finally, I think we got the right GM, the right head coach. But again, if you're not believing, I understand. So we've got to see this whole thing, man. But I'll tell you what, right now the Dolphins are chasing everybody else in town to get this thing, and it should never be like that. Should never, ever be like this, where the Dolphins are chasing all the other teams. I didn't even mention Inter Miami, who's been also superstar and elite team now, and their professional team.
It is crazy. All these other teams have won as much as they have.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, even the Canes got to a national championship.
And the original team is the one that is by far, again, through dysfunction with, you imagine coming as a GM and head coach. It's bad enough you come in here and they go, hey, you got a bad team. Our roster is not very good, and we haven't done a very good job here. But you got a lot of draft picks and a lot of money for free agency. They had the free agency. I mean, they had the draft. But, oh, by the way, we're going to chop more than half your money off the cap. Go get him, Charlie Brown. Go get him. Anyway.
In a sport, by the way, that's designed for this to not happen. The NFL is designed so teams don't stay bad for 20 years.
We kept going all in, and we go, let's do some extension. I mean, we wrote the book. If somebody ever wants a book that would be entertaining for laughs in sports, it's what we tried to do over the last few years. It really has. We extended guys. Like, all you had to do was pout a little bit or stay out of a drill during a camp, and they're like, give him an extension. We got to win right now. Give it to him. They call Mr. Ross, and next thing he signs off, and I'm going, oh, Mr. Ross. Oh, do you have somebody you can talk to up there in Palm Beach, please? Well, we did it, so we'll see if we got it figured out with a couple of guys that have seen how it's supposed to work from the Green Bay Packers. Hey, man, I got more stuff to get to here. We just I don't know how I wasn't going to go down that road, and somehow I just I don't know if I've ever done that before, Woody. I just hit every team, every professional team, and the Canes football team, which is, I call it the sixth professional team in this town. If you're looking for a truck that's built for Florida work and Florida fun, you got to stop by your South Florida Chevy dealers and check out the incredible Chevy lineup. Man, we got everything you could ever want when it comes to a truck. Let's start with the Chevy Colorado, with everything it gets. Yeah, the custom, the Colorado Custom to the ZR2. It's got all the tools for you and all the expectations you could ever want. And then, yeah, I see them everywhere. I see them in front of me and back of me on the road, on the side. Chevy Silverados are everywhere for a reason. Boy, I'll tell you what, from the custom Trail Boss to the Silverado EV, with 10 models and 4 powerful engine choices, Silverado delivers an impressive balance of strength, dependability, and efficiency, so you can get a truck that's absolutely perfect for your lifestyle. Might be a Chevy Silverado HD. Choose from the powerful LTZ with a premium style and substance to match. Maybe go with the biggest with the Chevy Silverado HD High Country. Whatever it is you're looking for, from a full-time working truck to the family truck to the enjoying South Florida truck, visit your local South Florida Chevy dealers today. Together, let's drive.
560 WQAM conducts contests from time to time, on air, online, and on site. You can find complete rules for all contests on our website, WQAM.com/rules.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite Windows, Doors, and Roofing. Loctite Impact, South Florida's top-rated impact windows, doors, and roofing provider, with thousands of 5-star reviews.
All-in savings at Kendall Toyota. All new trucks and all-time selling camera.
Join us at Fan Zone 305 at the casino at Dania Beach, July 11th. Watch soccer matches, enjoy food trucks, family fun, and more. Free admission, free parking, and all ages are welcome. Visit CasinoDaniaBeach.com.
All right, welcome back, and a good morning to everybody out there. Hope everybody's over that 4th of July and got a little extra time off, and then kicking into the week with a couple more World Cup games left, including a good one Saturday, 5 o'clock. It's got star power, 2 of the best players in the world. Actually, 3 of the best players in the world, but Kane and Holland are the ones everybody's talking about, England and Norway in the quarterfinals. We got the LeBron watch. Matter of fact, Brian Windhorst worked down here. It's kind of worked around LeBron, was up there with LeBron, and is always kind of covering that side of it. But he's a really good NBA guy, has come out with a lot of stuff, and we're getting daily updates, and they've been all over the board. In fairness, they've been pretty consistent about the Cavs and the Heat are definitely in the running. But they've added some teams, and why not? Listen, Philadelphia makes sense to me. He wants to go to a new team, although I do see all the outsiders really going to get on him, even at the end of his career, which is really amazing to me. That, he's just chasing, he's trying to find the best team that maybe he's one piece away. And, Tom Brady kind of did that with Tampa Bay, and he made sure it was on a really good football team and a great defense. And yeah, I would do that too if I was LeBron. I could see LeBron going to Philadelphia. Why not? That thing, even if Embiid misses a lot of the season, looks like a pretty damn good team now. What they've added, and I don't know. I happen to be a big Jaylen Brown fan, but yeah, I could see that as part of it. So anyway, here's what Brian Windhorst had to say yesterday that had to do with the Miami Heat.
No, I think one of the things that is going to come down here, I think that LeBron's going to have to decide is how much he cares about what people will think if he goes to a team that he's never played for before. Basically, if he chooses somebody besides Cleveland or Miami, because Cleveland and Miami, it's a very clean decision. It makes sense. Both of them have cases. Both of them he has familiarity with, etc. It's a clean decision. Does he want to deal with in his life what the reaction would be if he, went to Philadelphia or Minnesota or Denver or something like that, where it would sort of be a completely new place and he would have to create all kinds of new ties and learn, new routines and also deal with the, people, calling him a ring chaser or what have you. I think that's an extra layer that he's had to grapple with. I think he absolutely could do it. I don't think it's like a reason he would say no, but I do think that, Cleveland and Miami are in their own category because, to this day, he repeats Miami Heat mantras. Like when I listen to him and watch him play and hear him talk and everything, you feel the Miami Heat part of his basketball DNA. And of course, Cleveland, he's been there twice and he's been living there in the off season and things like that. Like that's his home. It's a no brainer. Those two are, I think, simple, clean ways to go about it. If he goes outside of that, it requires just a little bit more complication and probably a little bit more of a Rubicon he's got to leap across. And so that is probably part of it. But when he entered into this process, when he said, I don't want to be a Laker anymore, and that went public, he obviously had an idea of the direction he was going. He didn't go into it blind. He doesn't go into anything blind. He doesn't go into a possession blind. He doesn't leave his feet during a game without having a pretty good idea and what his options are, plan A, plan B, plan C. That's how he's always operated in his whole life. So that's how I assume he's approaching this decision.
All right, that was Brian Windhorst, who ESPN, NBA insider, talking about the LeBron thing. It is amazing as I sit back and I've watched this and been around LeBron, lucky enough to watch that show for 4 years up close and go to all the playoff games, all of them, on the road and at home. It was great. It was a great run. It was a lot of late nights, but you realize it was something special with the big three. And what they were able to do. 2 championships and 4 trips to the finals. Ring chaser. So I got to ask everybody, and even the ones may want him down here, you may not. Again, I think he's really good, and he'd add a lot to anybody's team. That's why so many teams are definitely interested in getting him, especially now that everybody agrees he's willing to take a hell of a lot less money at the end of his career finally. Although he's still, if you watch the Rockets series that they won the first round of the playoffs, he's still damn good because he carried them without the other 2, the guys who just got big contracts that were injured. Ring chaser. Does anybody really care at age 41 if you're an NBA fan? Like, if he decides he wants to go at the end here to a really good team where he can be a number 3 guy, start in the lineup, but's got some young legs with him, can anybody really get mad and go, look at that guy, he's a ring chaser? He's trying to get closer to Michael Jordan in rings. Most people aren't going to change the way they look at LeBron already. I got people in my life that love LeBron, and I got people in my life that cannot stand LeBron. Some of it's political. Some of it, I have no idea. If you just love great players and guys that stand for the right things, that have stayed out of trouble right out of high school, kind of lived up to the hype of being a first overall pick. And it's clearly, whether you like him or not, you cannot debate. He's one of the greatest players of all time. Right there at the top, at the top of the list. And I was like, does he still really care if he sees an article while he's out in LA or if he's in Cleveland and a columnist out there says, LeBron James, if you go to a really good team that's loaded, you're a ring chaser. Okay. Yeah. I want to be on a really good team and try to win another championship. How many other guys have joined teams at the end of their careers to do that? Hello, Bill Walton. I mean, a lot of guys. Come on, man. Come on. We can go through a list of guys at the end of their career, still had something to go, but didn't have to be the big dog anymore. Try to get a ring. Enjoy yourself. Hey, nights you don't play, doesn't affect the team. You still win or have a chance to win. And now we got everybody. Now, listen, I do agree. But I think he still gets blasted if he comes to Miami Heat, even though there's not a big 3. And everybody's still looking, if LeBron here is saying they're still not that big a threat. Yeah, they're a playoff team, but they're not that big a threat with what they have. And, of course, people are going, Giannis can't stay healthy. I got the Giannis can't stay healthy.
Yeah. He's got one option if he doesn't want to get heat from people.
Yeah, just go to Cavs.
Yep.
Go home. Go where you have a nice big home there right now. And go back to your roots.
I don't see him moving back down here and doing the whole thing again. Do you?
Not really. I don't. I'm with you on that.
It'd be great.
I do think he learned a lot down here.
Yeah.
There's no question.
And I know he bonded with Spo and Bam.
And I think he and Spo, he went from bumping Spo and having no respect and didn't want him as his coach to like now goes, damn, I was wrong about that one, which he'll never come out and do the whole, and say all that stuff. Like D Wade's going, no, dude, this guy's good at what he does. He's good at what he does. Stop. I think he sees it through the all-star, through the Olympics and national teams and everything else that the Spo has. And I think he sees that stuff that they've done. They've had some really good teams till recently. Anyway, so
the LA thing is a weird little, part of his career, though, right? Kind of a middling team. I know they won in the bubble, but outside of that, it's kind of a
LeBron?
Yeah, it's kind of a mid-level team over there, right?
Well, he's got all the numbers. I mean, here we go.
Yeah.
He's got all the numbers, and he's got 4 championships. He just does. He's got one in Cleveland. It's not going away. He's got one in the bubble with L.A. It's not going away. And he's got 2 down here with D. Wade and Chris Bosh and the Miami Heat. Those aren't going away. But it is amazing yesterday when you hit me at the end of the show that the decision was 16 years ago to the day yesterday. I saw everybody having fun with it, and not only with the decision, but He didn't hit a lot of popularity when he did the got up there, and I was at that thing too. I'd been back from my quick vacation, came back early to be there for the big three and the big ceremony. Matter of fact, I don't know how many people listening right now got the poster. Greatest thing ever given away was that poster of the big three. Actually have a little value to them as well after all these years. And they had them all three up there together with Eric Reed and, of course, the famous not one, not two. I've even tried, not three. I don't know, what he go to, 6 or 7? I mean, he was – you're going – everybody's getting lathered up. And they kind of threw that together the last second, right, Woody? Wasn't that thing like a couple days later go, hey, make sure you're there today?
It was quick. Yeah, it was all
and, boy, I'll tell you
quick.
what, the people were getting there, man. They were getting there and passing out those gorgeous little posters. One of the great giveaways of all time. All the people at every door there were giving away those things. It was fantastic. It was a great day. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
You'll never see something like that again in sports.
No.
Never again.
So anyway, it's going to be, and I want to say this. I don't know what's going to happen with LeBron, but I hope we haven't given up on DeMar DeRozan. I happen to be a big fan. I know he's a little older in his career, coming off 18.5 points. Doesn't shoot threes if you haven't watched DeMar DeRozan, but he's a nice player even at mid-30s, even getting closer to 40 than 30 now. He's got $10 million guaranteed from Sacramento, so I'm guessing it's not going to cost you a ton of money to get him. But he's got a lot of teams interested. I understand that. And by the way, more importantly, he understands that, and he and his agent. But we've made a couple. Isn't it funny? Some of these guys now at the end of their careers, we made runs at them when they were in more of their prime, and we came up short. But he'd be a nice little one. Doesn't play a lot of D, which I don't know, man. I'm gonna stop saying that. I stole that from somebody who was talking about DeMar DeRozan out in Sacramento, and I was like, I don't know how many guys really get after it defensively. Bam gets after it defensively. Talk about Giannis being a big athletic guy gets that. How many guys? How many guys truly like? Hey, Davion Mitchell gets a reputation of being a good defender, man. He's scrappy, stays out in front of you, and he makes you earn every dribble.
I think everyone's capable of defending, Joe. I think it's kind of an overrated thing. Like, there are guys that are elite at it, but I think everyone's capable.
I've only seen
guys like James Harden, but the problem is, like, James Harden's not a good athlete.
Well, not now. He's not. He's definitely.
This guy can barely move.
He looks really
like
stiff
a
now. Yes, I agree. It's funny. Not to get on this thing, and I'm running super late here today, like I usually do. Duncan Robinson is the one guy I'll always remember. He went from didn't he score a lot of points in his last game, and then he just it was a playoffs, and then I don't know. Spo had a meeting with his coach or something and said, put Duncan at the end of the bench. Remember, he didn't play. He went from, and I think he scored 20-something points, but the defense must have been awful. Must have been awful. Because Duncan got 4 or 5 guys that have been either effort or something that they weren't doing right within what Spo considered very important that lost some playing time. Couple of centers, matter of fact, have seen that in recent years too, including 2 of our big centers, and including the one we just traded to Milwaukee. Also didn't do a very good job of staying on the right side of Spo. Chill Zone AEC, man, I got to tell you, I've got to go to break here. Got a lot more stuff to get to. One thing, by the way, Marlins won again. 5 straight for them. I just wanted to tease you with that. We'll have more stuff on them, and we got a lot more, including some stuff on officiating coming up here. But I do want to take a second to talk about my new air conditioning company that I'm using and talking about, Chill Zone Air Conditioning. Melissa, the president of Chill Zone Air Conditioning, is fantastic. Melissa De Verona, the president, family-owned and operated. She's been in the business her whole life with her father. She's seen it all, and she understands being on time is important and not having you sit. You want to turn somebody off. Now listen, we're all have to call air conditioning companies. Nobody's got an air conditioning unit ain't going to break down. As hard, if you're like my kids and you come over to the house and you decide you're going to put it down as low as possible, that's what my kids do. I don't know if your kids do that, but we run the hell out of these air conditioning units. They're going to break down. They're going to have problems, and you're going to need an air conditioning company that you trust that can be on time. nothing more frustrating than telling somebody you're going to be out there in the window in the morning before 10 o'clock, and then they don't show up or they come at 6 at night, and you waited all nothing more than one. Boy, I've seen it. Or somebody comes out and has no idea what they're doing, or somebody that all of a sudden the prices change and things get more expensive, tell you need a new air conditioning unit when you don't. It can be fixed. Hey, these are things that give that whole business a bad reputation. You will not get that with Chill Zone Air Conditioning. First of all, Melissa takes all the calls, takes everything, sends out her crews that have had a lot of experience. There's no rookies on any of those trucks going out. Boy, they know what they're doing. Michael came out. He was fantastic. Cover all of South Florida for whether you need a new air conditioning unit, the one you have that just needs to be repaired, or duct cleaning or anything else. Call 786-378-2778. Tell them you heard it right here on 104.3 WQAM. She'll know. ChillZoneAC.com. Get more information. Call Melissa. If you're ready to make a change and go with somebody that you feel and trust, Chill Zone Air Conditioning.
Joe Roche.
running super late this morning as I got a little long-winded on talking about all five of our professional teams and University of Miami, which now I guess we can call them. I shouldn't feel bad about calling them a professional team. Hell, a lot of those guys on the Canes are making a lot more money than some of the guys in our other professional teams, right? With the money out there. So, yeah, we look at all that, and I got a little carried away this morning, which happens from time to time. I got to tell you, man, I thought this officiating thing was just in the NFL and NBA, right? Guys, who gets calls and who doesn't, and the flopping and the hard contact and the grabbing and when to call it. And if you call it in the regular season, you got to call it in the playoffs. And what's a catch and what's pass interference and remember all the plays, man. They were just popping up in my head last night. I was going back that Denver-Buffalo game, one of the weirdest plays we had all year. Woody, that was one of the craziest. Rolled down, thought the guy made a catch. As he rolled, the defender came up with the ball. They called it an interception, and all hell broke loose because there was a huge play at the end of the game, which would have set Buffalo up to win the game. And instead, and I saw all these guys that do this for a living, all former players, the guys that, and nobody could agree on good call or bad call. It was just called. They reviewed it. There's nothing really to review. I mean, was he down? If he was down before the guy ripped it out, then it's a catch. But that was one of the crazy ones. But I got to tell you, man, what is going on right now in this tournament, this soccer, not football, this soccer tournament is incredible, especially with what just happened to Egypt, who is just pissed off. I mean, they're not letting it go. They're going, we're just not going to let this go. That was wrong, and the whole thing, and Woody, this is a new one. Country referees, not guys that have their favorite officials and referees in all these different sports, but guys are now going, I knew it. This guy's from France, and he's trying to help him, and they want Argentina. These guys are from these officials. So I didn't realize all these guys know where all these officials are from and the pressure. So Woody, I started thinking about this. Can you imagine? I guess everybody knows who they are. They're supposed to be the best in the world, but they are from all these different countries, these referees we have. Can you imagine a guy making a call that cost your team and you go back home and I wonder what it's like for those guys when they go back to where the countries are from, knowing how passionate they are in some of these places. But Egypt's even throwing Messi in there, going, they just want Messi and Argentina to make it to the finals again. That's all they want. They want them to face France. So now we got everybody thinking that France and Argentina are going to get all these calls because that's what FIFA wants. I was like, I have trouble believing it, but they believe it with the calls that were made and not made and all the things that we just saw in that crazy game. By the way, one of the wildest finishes I've ever seen for something like that. It was just crazy. I could understand it, and a goal taken away on a call that was not made at the other end and is made after you score a goal. That kind of pissed me off without even knowing anything about it. Hey, we got to get all caught up. 7 o'clock hour's coming up. We got a lot more stuff to get to. Oh, by the way, his name's Otto Lopez. He got a couple more hits. 40 multi-hit games on the season. He's taking this hit thing to a whole new level right now, the Marlins shortstop. Hey, speaking of the Marlins, I do want to say this when we talk about them. Seattle's in town. It's not over. They're going for the big broom today. Trying to get that game, with Seattle, get that third game. Then Cleveland will be in town, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Cleveland's in town, 25-8, playing great baseball, just continue to win, moved up in a wild card position of actually run down the Phillies and just playing out of this. Well, if you get a chance, man, check it out. Otto Lopez, Xavier Edwards of the big triple last night, second and third base. Those guys have been unbelievable. Max Meyer and Sandy Alcantara shutting opponents down. I mean, the whole thing, just home run after home run. Big one last night from Stowers. Just get a little bit of everything, man. You just got to get your tickets and get out there. Go to marlins.com/tickets.
WQAM broadcasting live from
attorneys.
Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
This update is brought to you by Doral Kia. In Miami, at a Domino's game, you always find your abuelito. Whenever you want a low price, you say the Pricito. Stay now, the Pricito at Doral Kia. Starting with the Marlins, who won again, shutting out the Mariners 2-0. Miami will go for the sweep tonight with the first pitch at 6:40 from Lone Depot Park. You can catch the game right here on WQAM. And in the World Cup, France will take on Morocco in the quarterfinals. Kickoff is at 4 o'clock, Joe.
All right, Woody, man, I tell you what, it's July, and I'm glad we have this soccer tournament here, the biggest tournament in the world here. I just think it's great. It just adds on to what is usually or can be, minus all this NBA drama that we've had and all this stuff. It's just been great that we have this stuff going on. It really is, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I knew that how big the tournament is. I'm aware of it. And the best teams in the world are all here and representing their countries, and the fan bases. A lot of them have made trips over here from all over Seattle to L.A. and Boston and Atlanta here. I mean, we got Mexico. Locations have been all over, and it's been great. It really has, and some of the tournaments, and whether you're a casual fan or whatever, it's been great this time of year. It goes on, and now we're down to 8 teams left, quarterfinals, and it's going to get the play is going to be a lot of fun to see if Argentina and France can get to the finals, and this whole thing that we have going on here right now is great. And then we got the LeBron watch. We're still getting teased, man. We're still getting teased a little bit with everything still, I'm like everybody that wants LeBron. As long as I hear heat, well, he knows what the culture's about. He always makes reference about heat wave, and it's something he's always talking about. But yeah, I agree about he spends a lot of time in the Cleveland, Akron area in the off season. That's where he's from. He's got a home there and the whole thing, and they got a good team. I don't know if it's team good enough to go all the way or not, but they get him talking about, hey, maybe all that thing's missing is getting rid of James Harden and adding LeBron James. I added that James Harden part on. Just not a big fan. Then we got this baseball story, man. It's great. 51-42, 2-0 win last night, 5th straight win. Every time you turn around, they got a winning streak going on and sweep. And they got a chance today with this win against Seattle have back-to-back sweeps of both the A's, and then today, if they can do it again, take down Seattle. And then you got Cleveland for a weekend series coming up here. Tyler Phillips last night, the whole group of them. The bullpen pitches, I think it was their 8th shutout of the season. So, man, just a lot of good numbers. Again, we've talked about all these guys picking it up, and Stowers hits one over the center field fence early in the game. And, Edwards has a triple. Again, Lopez is just Otto Lopez is just been unbelievable. And again, I get it. 10,000 fans, you're going to get a lot of people talking about him and what he's been doing at shortstop. But 40 games now in the first half of this season, 40 games, he has at least 2 hits in a game. Just amazing. It really is. It's just been fantastic. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Of course, we got our game here for the World Cup Saturday, 5 o'clock, England and Norway, and 2 of the best players in the world. Actually, England's got a lot of good players. So does Holland, so does Norway. But Holland is one of the just having a great tournament along with Kane. So those 2 guys will face off. And, just that. And we got the watch on. We got this watch on. DeMar DeRozan, another one. If we can't get LeBron, can we get DeMar? Just to kind of add another piece, something that can score for you off the bench. Doesn't need to play big minutes anymore, 36 years old. Although I guess we got to stop saying the age because we got a lot of guys still playing really well in their mid-30s in a lot of different sports right now. Something else happened yesterday that I wanted to bring up, speaking of soccer, and this is more on the drama side. This Christian Pulisic, what have you been watching this thing with the criticism he's been getting as quote unquote the best player on the American team that's now out? Landon Donovan just hammered him. And I'm not so sure everybody likes Landon Donovan, by the way. It's not like all of a sudden his teams were out winning championships for the World Cup either.
He had recently, by the way, one of those little airline incidents. Remember, he got in a fight with the airline on Twitter?
No,
we were talking about that the other day.
No,
Yeah,
I know we were talking about that.
Yeah, he had one of those during the World Cup. I think he was stuck on the tarmac somewhere, and he needed to let everyone know.
He had to let everybody know, stay
yeah.
away from this airline and use this one. And yeah, that's. Hey, look at man. There's an all-time high airline frustration. Everybody gets it. It's how you handle it. But if you're traveling, especially if you can't do a direct flight and you have to catch a second plane, yeah. There's going to be delays. There's things are going to happen. It's not just one airline. I hate to break it to everybody. Now you got me going on that. I hate to break it, but if you think it's just an American thing or United thing or Delta thing or JetBlue or any of the others, everybody's got it. Sometimes there's nothing they can do about it if it's weather, but one's delayed, it affects the others. I got to tell you, man, Sacramento flights, get ready to grab a bite to eat, man, when you get to the airport, because it happens a lot. And so I know everybody's complaining, but I want to get back to this Landon Donovan. I don't know what you think of him and all the announcers that a lot of them for this Fox coverage of the tournament a lot of them are former players for the United States and their World Cup teams. Landon Donovan hammered Christian Pulisic and everybody around him. I saw some of those comments yesterday, and I was like, wow, that is an official torch job. He talked about teammates, sponsors, staff, and coaches are fed up with this guy's act. They're tired of it. People around him, his agents, his family, his friends, they all treat people poorly to the point of not doing interviews. He's affected. He needs to get away from all those people. He needs somebody to come in and help this guy. Interviews and everything else. He just crushed him. And he said everybody, staff members, coaches, teammates, sponsors that are around the team have had a gutful of the way this guy acts. And his family members act around him. Woody, that's serious criticism right there. That is
yeah, this stuff gets old though, doesn't it? These former players ripping the current.
Well, they don't get along. Something happened last year,
Yeah.
and Landon Donovan said, "Hey, I don't get along with Christian, and you know we're not best of friends while I'm doing this." I mean, you got to say that if that's the case. By the way, John McEnroe's going through it too. He got into it with some of the people on Wimbledon and in the tour, and going back, his things he said from. They're getting on him now as well. He's getting heat over there for.
I don't know. I just don't get this whole let's pile on these guys after they lose thing. But
well, he didn't play well. You know how this works.
Know.
Well, wait. If you're the best player and you don't play well, and then he sprained his ankle. He said he sprained his ankle and he went out, and he said he needed to rest. He did in some of the tournaments before.
Well, he did get hurt in the beginning of the thing, right?
He didn't get involved, though. He said he was going to rest instead of play with his team and be around his team. So some of that stuff, when you're trying to get ready for a World Cup and get some chemistry with the team, it rubs people the wrong way when everybody else is doing it and you can't do it because you're on, when you have a chance and you go, I'm going to rest, get my body right, I'm going to skip playing with you guys. So that was part of Landon Donovan's whole thing with this that was going on.
I don't know. Landon Donovan's got one of the great comebacks for baldness you'll ever see, though.
See, that's a personal shot. But that's a personal shot.
Not personal.
Wait till your ass goes bald and we have put some color on your hair.
No, I want to see his guy. When I do.
How do you take? See, he's taking personal shot. Now you take a personal shot.
You got to admit that was an impressive comeback. That was like an A-Rod level comeback, what he did from baldness, though. That was impressive.
No,
man.
he looked like he had to comment on it, by the way. Apparently,
he had to comment
apparently
on
he
it.
saw the social media comments too,
Yeah.
like, hey, bro, what happened to that baldness there? What?
Guy comes back, he's got a full head of hair. People just probably want to know what he did. Whoever his guy is or whatever, man. That's impressive
I got to
stuff.
tell you, though, I was thinking of this with him. What do he look like if he would just shaved it and just – some guys get away. I always say this. My good friend Steve Goldstein looks great.
Yeah.
Years
Could you
ago,
imagine if Goldie went and saw
I had
Donovan's
Goldie with hair when I was working with him. And now, and I tell him, I go, man, you got away with it, bro. It looks great.
Yeah.
Looks great on you. You did it. You did it. But not every guy that shaves that head goes, yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Some guys it works for, right? Then we've had the toupee guys, including the guy tennis, by the way, it's a legendary story out there where I play.
Yeah, I know that one.
About the wind blowing.
Not very nice.
And the guy's toupee, the front of it lifted up like the plane was going. It just kind of lifted up. And he grabbed it as he was going back. A guy hit a lob shot over his head, and he was running after it along with the wind, and the hair just lifted up. And the thing went off the back. He didn't catch it. So we're just warming up next to him. And I told him, hey, great effort trying to catch it. I thought he'd laugh. Apparently it was in bad taste because I guess I thought his hair was real, and it just didn't go over the way I was hoping it would. So the guy comes over, and I see his partner look very awkward after my comment. Like, oh, you didn't say that, man. Like, I don't know, man. I'm used to when you're around guys and stuff happens, and guys just get on guys. And I forget that sometimes. When you're in that locker room or you're in a fraternity with police officers, firefighters, and I know it's not everywhere. You can't do that. You got to be politically correct, but not in a fire department, a police department. If you're part of a team, guys, as you get older, some mean-spirited stuff comes out and some bad pranks. You guys know the whole deal. And so I made this comment, and the guy grabbed it, and he put it back on as he's walking over. He's got to walk over because the benches back up to each other on the tennis courts. So we're just standing there, and I just said, hey, man, nice effort to try to catch it. And as it went to the ground, it kind of fluffed to the ground there. So he grabbed it, and he didn't know if to keep it off. And I don't remember how he looked bald. But anyway, he put it back on his head, and he walked over, and he's mad. He's not saying a word. The comment really offended him. And it was probably in bad taste, to be fair, before you decide you're going to dogpile on what I did. It was in bad taste. And I probably shouldn't have done it. And he grabbed it, and he walked off without his stuff. He put his racket down, and then he just walked away before he could take his stuff. So his partner's standing there. And I go, I guess he didn't take that real well. And he goes, no. The guy was kind of mad at me, too. He goes, no, he didn't take that well. He didn't say you went to, he was careful what he said because he didn't want me, giving him a hard time. So anyway, I said, hey, man, I'm sorry you lost your partner. Is he going to come back out? He goes, I don't think he is. So about that time, the guy had his phone with him, calls him to bring his stuff. He was headed to the parking lot. And I go, well, I hope he adjusts that thing while he's out there in the parking lot. I hope he's able to get that bad boy back on the head there perfectly. And the guy was furious. So now I get up. I go up to the tennis courts, and the lady says at the front, the girls are great. They're great. The tennis courts at Plantation are fantastic people. She goes, Joe, what'd you do? I said, I didn't do anything. The guy went back for a shot. It's a little windy, and his toupee went up and off the back of his head. And we hadn't started playing, so I was just kind of watching him while I was grabbing my stuff and getting ready to play and go out and warm up and then, play a couple of sets. And this guy's leaving the court, and he came over and he made some comment about, I never want to play next to that guy again. Anyway, she goes, what happened? I told her. It was kind of awkward, right? What, are you going to make me leave because his toupee fell off? What's going to happen? What are we doing? And I said he went to catch the toupee and he missed it as he's going back on a lob shot. And it went off his head. It was windy. I don't know how those toupees stay on. I don't know. Some of them lift up. I don't know how you keep them down.
It's like
I'm
glue or
not sure.
something, right?
But anyway, so now my partner, we start playing. He just starts, and about now everybody's gone next to us. He starts laughing. Goes, dude, I cannot believe. And I go, I feel kind of bad now. Like the guy left. Now his partner had to leave. They're all mad at me over the toupee, the flying toupee. Anyway, hey, we got to go to break here. I'm sorry about that. I hope I don't offend anybody. I don't. That wasn't just trying to be funny, entertain myself, and it didn't go over real well with the four of us standing there. My buddy goes, it was funny, but dude, it was kind of, it was funny. I saw it fall to the ground too, and I saw he tried to grab it, and then he looked right at us to see if we saw it, and I go, I saw it. Good effort. Super Sure, man, I want to talk about Super Sure this morning. When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, that's the finish line. Handshake, commission, done. Then you may not hear from them again until it's time for that renewal. Your business runs all year, and so do the gaps and the risks. That's why I'm introducing Super Sure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, CFO, or HR manager, it can be too complex to just buy a policy online. Super Sure is a super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, all with your year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, which translates your current policy into plain English so you know what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth so you know what actually needs protecting. Go to supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform. All your policies in one place. Go to supersure.com. That's supersure.com. Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
All ages are welcome. Visit CasinoDaniaBeach.com.
All right, so let me get everyone our weather here. It is brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting. Storm season is coming. Make sure your home is ready. Get your free roof and window estimate today. Visit tornadoroofing.com. We're at 83 degrees right now. It hit 103 in my car yesterday.
Oh, man.
3:30 or 4 o'clock. It's getting hot out there.
I got the tennis courts. It was smoking hot yesterday. I'm going to give it a shot today as well. It's warm. And I got to tell you, Woody, I used to like fight through it even when I was getting a little lightheaded and, maybe take a break. But now I don't mess with it, watching people drop. Yeah, not going to do that. Hey, so anyway, good morning to everybody out there. Chris Whittingham's going to join us. We are going to be talking to him a little bit later on, and Craig Mish will join us pre- and post-game for the Marlins and talk about what's been going on since June 1st, because it's been one hell of a story so far. One of 8 teams now at 50-plus wins in baseball. And one of those teams with that 51-42 record, tied with the Phillies, is the Marlins. With another game today with Seattle, got a chance to get the sweep. And then Cleveland will be in town for a weekend series. And we got France and Morocco today at 4 o'clock in the World Cup. Boy, you just go on and on with all these stories. And then we've got a really special game with England and Norway at Hard Rock Stadium coming up. I guess we got semifinal game too, Woody, right? So we got quarterfinal and a semifinal game. So you got 2 really good ones coming up here, no matter what. There's just see what happens. This thing, though, with Argentina and France may happen. Maybe a repeat. Maybe. We'll see. But there's some darn good teams the in between there before we get to that point. All right, we got the LeBron watch going on, and played it last hour for you. Brian Windhorst talking about the Cavs and the Heat in a little different category because he's been on both teams. He's familiar with them. He's won championships with them. The thing that gets me, and I see some of the comments coming in, and some of you don't want LeBron, and not sure why. Not sure why you wouldn't want a guy that makes your team better. Not sure. I just, unless you just don't like him. And look, I'm as guilty as anybody of having guys, even though they may help sometimes, and not want anything to do with them. But LeBron, outside of leaving after 4 years and a disappointment, he didn't stay around after losing to San Antonio. It's been, that's over. And we get him to come back and be a second or third wheel on this team, and the nights that he can still have, in case you didn't see him in the playoffs and you forgot. I don't know, man. I think his leadership and everything else and would be great. I think anywhere he goes. I think if he goes to Philadelphia, they get better. They seem to be lost sometimes when it comes to leadership and those type of things. I think all these teams are better. I don't understand why Heat fans wouldn't want LeBron if we can get him. If he decides he picks us, we're not picking him. He's picking us. And I think Cavs, I'm with Woody. Woody's been saying this since the start. This just feels like he's going back home because he does have a big home in somewhere between Akron and Cleveland. I'm not exactly sure where that big boy is, but he's got a home and they spend a lot of time. She's from there too, right? The wife, they met in high school. She's a Cleveland/Akron girl as well. So anyway, we'll see what happens. And, and then they're already, and even Charles Barkley's jumping on this and some other guys about, if LeBron's going to go trying to chase a championship and going to a team that's already got, yeah. I laughed at, a lot of guys do that, but we're getting on, like LeBron, if he's looking to get a 5th championship, he's got 4. If he wants to go ring chasing, I just don't. We don't act like this was just about anybody else except Kevin Durant. He got blasted when he decided after losing, when he was with Oklahoma City, lost to Golden State, and then he joined them and everybody. I think they have like a 3-1 lead in that series or something. Yeah, Oklahoma City, I think, had a 3-1 series lead over Golden State and end up losing it. And he joined the other team to beat them, and that just, oh my God, he just got killed for going to Golden State, where he won a championship, by the way. But, oh man, I crack up when I hear all these guys like, oh, it'd be so weak if he goes to Denver, if he goes to Oklahoma City, or if he went some like or Philadelphia that looks like they've got a loaded team. Like, by the way, I do agree. Brian Windhorst said this. We're gonna play it for you in before the end of the show, and I think Cavs and Heat are in a different category because he knows what to expect. He knows how things are. Where one's at home, one's home, and the other one he's had great success and spent 4 years. All right, so here's Brian Windhorst, if you missed it, on his latest thoughts on LeBron.
No, I think one of the things that is going to come down here, I think that LeBron's going to have to decide is how much he cares about what people will think if he goes to a team that he's never played for before. Basically, if he chooses somebody besides Cleveland or Miami, because Cleveland and Miami, it's a very clean decision. It makes sense. Both of them have cases. Both of them he has familiarity with, etc. It's a clean decision. Does he want to deal with in his life what the reaction would be if he, went to Philadelphia or Minnesota or Denver or something like that, where it would sort of be a completely new place and he would have to create all kinds of new ties and learn, new routines and also deal with the, people, calling him a ring chaser or what have you. I think that's an extra layer that he's had to grapple with. I think he absolutely could do it. I don't think it's like a reason he would say no, but I do think that, Cleveland and Miami are in their own category because, to this day, he repeats Miami Heat mantras. Like when I listen to him and watch him play and hear him talk and everything, you feel the Miami Heat part of his basketball DNA. And of course, Cleveland, he's been there twice and he's been living there in the off season and things like that. Like that's his home. It's a no brainer. Those two are, I think, simple, clean ways to go about it. If he goes outside of that, it requires just a little bit more complication and probably a little bit more of a Rubicon he's got to leap across. And so that is probably part of it. But when he entered into this process, when he said, I don't want to be a Laker anymore, and that went public, he obviously had an idea of the direction he was going. He didn't go into it blind. He doesn't go into anything blind. He doesn't go into a possession blind. He doesn't leave his feet during a game without having a pretty good idea and what his options are, plan A, plan B, plan C. That's how he's always operated his whole life. So that's how I assume he's approaching this decision.
Brian Windhorst talking on ESPN, NBA, a little bit about LeBron, which everybody is curious. Whether you like it or not, wherever he goes, the team got better. I mean, can we at least agree on that with whatever your thoughts are on LeBron? It's amazing what the amount of people that don't like LeBron. And I got some Golden State fans in my life that don't like LeBron. I mean, back up in Northern California, they're not LeBron fans. And I'm listening. He gets every call. Come on, you guys. We're not doing this, please. Calm down. Be a good get, though. Good get for the Heat. If Giannis, that's a nice little big three, by the way. Giannis, Bam, and LeBron with some of the supporting cast, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We got a lot more stuff to get to here this morning as we're moving on towards the 8:00 hour. We got Hollywood's headlines coming up here. We'll talk hear what he has to say, and the old officiating. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's been fun to listen to some of the World Cup officiating complaints. Oh my God. And I thought it was just NFL and NBA. How stupid, man. It's unbelievable. Everybody. Except now it's country officials wanting other countries to win. That's a new one. And the Messi. They want Messi in the finals. Yeah, Egypt's a little salty and not letting up on this. Hey, speaking of not letting up, I'm not going to let up on making sure you're protecting your home during hurricane season. That's right. Loctite Impact Windows, Doors, and Roofing would sure love to do it for you. If you're thinking about it, I'm going to give you some reasons why. Their windows, Hurricane Category 5 rated. Loctite Impact provides 100% financing with zero down, no interest, no payments for 1 year. You got no leaky roof. Come on, man. Replace your old roof now and you can pay later. Plus, they do roofing repairs. So you're going, we're going to wait 1 more year, but we got some problems on our roof. We'd like to patch it up and get through 1 more year. Hey, let the good folks from Loctite come out 24/7, roof repairs from them. The best part, Impact Windows as low as $6 per month per window installed. Don't wait for the next storm, man. Get the deal of a lifetime today and keep your home protected. Whether you're in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach, it doesn't matter. Loctite's going to fly right out to your home and get you going. Get you rolling here. Loctite Impact is the name you need to remember when you're starting to think about a decision you might be making. Call today, 954-500-LOCK. They got a great staff. They'll answer all your questions, or just go to LoctiteImpact.com. You can learn more about Loctite. Chev, the CEO, and his team ready to take good care of you during hurricane season.
The Joe
It's time for Hollywood's headlines. Without further ado, here's Hollywood.
All right, Woody, what do you have for us here today? You're having a good day, Woody.
So far, so good, Joe. Let's get you. Never know. Let's get you a World Football update here, Joe, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is truly unmatched for every match with 29-degree drafts of Michelob Ultra, spicy margaritas made with Casamigos, and unrivaled views. All tournament, Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Well, those sound good.
And we'll have some views of a match today, Joe. We got a 4 o'clock start. France in action taking on Morocco in the quarterfinals.
Hey, those margaritas sounded real good.
You like a good margarita?
I do.
You're a tequila guy. That's
No.
right.
But I like the margaritas occasionally. I like a martini sometimes too, but I do. I do like it, but I like straight tequila. Yes. Anyway,
all right, let's get some headlines here, Joe. We had the Big 12. They started their media days, and the ACC obviously coming up next week. Not a ton of stuff coming out of the Big 12 thing so far, but we had this one kind of unusual comment here. So ESPN was interviewing Colorado quarterback Julian Lewis. He played a little bit last season. Team finished 3-9. So things not going well for Deion's club. And they asked him what has changed going into this season.
Yeah.
Might make things better than last season. Here's what he had to say.
The most since last year to now?
My play, I'm actually looking at the defenses now. Last year we wasn't really looking at defense as much, just kind of high school free ball and just out there playing football. But, it's a lot bigger than that now, so it should be fun.
Let me ask you a question. Who does that remind you of when you hear a guy say we didn't watch film and we were high school free balling out there last year?
You know who that would say, that you would expect to say that. Come on. You know who. There's no reason to bring them up and get everybody lathered up here this morning.
Dude, that was a Tua comment if I've ever heard one. What is this guy talking about, man?
Can you imagine his coach going,
oh, I don't think Deion cares anymore, right?
But the coach is like, I can just hear the poor Colorado coach. Like, we do study defenses. We do. We tell you things to key on. What are you saying? You're just out there playing like get open and I'll throw it to you.
High school free ball, he said.
Yeah. David Woodley used to say, the guys love this. They go, hey, man, say what David Woodley used to say. He'd come back and Bob Greasy had been injured. So Bob Greasy was Coach Shula said, hey, Bob, really focus on David Woodley. He's got a lot of talent as a young quarterback, and he's going to start. And so he and Don Strock would spend time with David Woodley, and he'd come back to the room. He was my roommate at that point. This is before Dan Marino was drafted by the Dolphins. And he'd come back and goes, Joe, man, these guys, man, they're trying to get me to read all this stuff. Hey, man, you know what I do. First read, not there, wherever I'm supposed to throw the ball. If it's not there, I take off and run. And I was like, he didn't want to learn. He said it was just crazy, man.
Yeah.
Reading defenses is like, and I'm like, yeah, man, probably a good idea to learn those defenses.
Yeah, you don't say. But a weird comment there nonetheless. I don't know what's going on over in Colorado, but it seems like that thing has come to an end.
I'll tell you what, that thing
is,
was, remember when it was hot and everybody wanted to go and everybody was going to go there? And
well, they had Shador, they had Travis Hunter.
And I thought Deion was hot. I think a lot of schools were going, hey, man, Deion and a good program with this right support as assistant coaches support and give him some money and he can get it done. But, boy, that thing's cooled off. You're right.
Yes, it has. All right, Joe. Kyle Lowry just recently announced that he is retiring, and he will be following that up with a broadcasting career now. He is going to become a regular, the NBA on Prime. He will be an analyst coming up here this upcoming season.
He had a good career, man. He was a tough cookie. He was a tough, old school guy.
You see, you gave him a really nice tribute on social media. His best friend, Jimmy Butler.
Oh,
yeah.
Were they close?
Buddies.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't think Jimmy had any real close friends. I'm not being a shot.
Well, he has close friends. They're just like those people he always hangs out with. But no, Kyle Lowry's his buddy.
Okay.
All right, Joe. We had the jersey worn by Jalen Brunson in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We actually just had a bunch of jerseys. There were 15 Knicks jerseys that were sold over from game 1, but these all just going final here. Any idea what the Brunson jersey sold
Well,
for?
it's definitely the hottest of the group. I'm off. 100,000?
No, $1 million. $1 million. So shade over $1 million, 124,000.
Damn, Woody, I'm always low on these offers. Holy smokes!
Just a bit, just a bit. We had an Anunoby jersey. That was he sold 2 of those for $256. You had a Josh Hart jersey that went for a bargain price of $89,600.
Hey man, a piece of history for those Knicks fans. Good for them.
Yeah, you had the a net that sold in this one. They had a game net. And we've had some Jalen Brunson cards that have sold for some big money now. We had a card that went for $312,000. So
which card would that be? Is there something like a rookie card or is that
one rookie? Yeah.
So Jalen Brunson, I'm guessing one of the hottest cards in the NBA, right?
He's hot. But
is Wemby in the elbow still a hot card or no?
The problem is Brunson. I don't know what the deal is with Brunson. He just doesn't have the star power, that these other guys do. I'm not taking away from what he is as a player, but he doesn't have the star appeal that like a Wemby or a lot of other guys have, to be honest.
But, you know, it's funny, Woody.
Maybe it's because he's quiet. He's just not the big personality.
But
I don't know.
I get that he's not going to jump 12 feet over the basket and do crazy things, but Woody, where's he rank for you for hitting clutch shots?
All right, now he's.
That show, man, that show's got to put you right back at the top.
He's
and I get it.
Right
There's
now.
A lot of guys that look better doing it and thing, but he just.
I can't off the top of my head think of another guy I'd rather have in the final 2 minutes of a game.
And he's a great one-on-one player.
Yes.
And for a guy that can't get up, to get lift, to get more separation, but he finds a way, goes to the basket. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. Huge fan what he just did. He put that team on his back.
All right, Joe, and our final one here, we got the Mega Millions jackpot starting to creep up to big money here. We're up to $600 million now with the next drawing coming up here on Friday. The cost of a Mega Millions ticket is $5.
We got to get in there, Woody.
I'm not going to do that.
If I hit it, Woody,
you'll share.
I'm going to share with you.
Would you just walk around to everyone in the building? If you won $600 million, let's say you take it as one payment. What is it, three and change you'd get after taxes, give or take?
I'm old, Woody. I think I got to take it all right now.
Yeah, you'd take it all. Yeah, you wouldn't want the payouts. But would you like walk around the building giving everyone like $1 million?
No.
That you like?
No, my job. No.
So what would you do with the money?
Well, a lot of it would go to charity.
Okay.
Pick some good charities and Chapman Partnership.
Yeah, that would be a nice place to start. Yeah.
I'd be up there with my friend Robert and make sure Habitat gets a bunch, the work they're doing, building homes. I love that one. Yeah.
Well, I'm rooting for you, man, since you decided you're going to give it to charity.
If I hit a big, I hope
you going to buy anything for yourself?
Hold on. I hope the big man's listening. I told you now, a lot of that money.
Will you buy anything for yourself?
Well, yeah. I don't know what.
You think one of those big houses in
Woody,
Tahoe?
it's not going to happen, so.
Yeah. No.
Woody, that's a pretty good call, though. Get a nice home right there on that lake in Tahoe.
Yeah.
Where's Joe? I always love, would you quit your job right away? At this age, yes.
I don't think you would, man. I don't think you would.
Come on, man. That's BS.
No, because like something like that Colorado quarterback is going to pop up on your computer at home, and you're going to be like, oh, my God, that reminds me of Tua.
I'm going to call Woody.
And no one's going to want to talk to you about it in your house.
Yeah, that's true. No one will care.
You're going to call your wife and, hey, look at this idiot. He sounds like Tua.
She just blocks me out right away. If I go to start to say something, I was talking to her, I go, you got to see this Argentina comeback and all this craziness of the game. And she just looked at me.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Just being real nice. Okay. No, Messi's from Argentina and they're playing Egypt and they were down 2-0. They came back. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, she didn't really care.
Sorry to hear that.
You get that at home, Woody, when you try to get in the whole thing, or Veronica kind of hangs in there a little bit?
I don't really bring up sports with her very much. I don't have the buildup that you do. Like, I don't know. You seem to always be wanting
I
to
have,
talk. You're
now
a
listen,
talker.
I do have relatives that I can always talk to because
Yeah.
they're passionate about all our teams. So I do.
But you're a huge talker.
And it's my
like,
wife's
you
family.
just-
It's all my wife's family and my son. My son's, hell, he knows more about sports than I do, whatever that means.
Everyone does nowadays, right?
Yeah.
It's all out there, man. There's no.
He's actually been nice enough to politely correct me on some things I've said.
Well, that's the thing, though, man. Every sports fan, like sports fans, are knowledgeable now because there's so much stuff out there.
Yes.
You don't have to rely on secondhand stuff. Everyone can see everything now.
I got you, Woody. Hey, we got Chris Whittingham going to join us, man. Speaking of all this drama with Landon Donovan and Christian Pulisic and all the other stuff that's going on, who's going to win the tournament, what he likes, this whole thing. We're going to talk to him coming up in just a few minutes. But first, before we do that, I want to tell you about Baptist Health South Florida. I always say this, Baptist, don't take it the wrong way. This is the good news, bad news. Sorry to hear you got hurt, but you know how this works. Sooner or later, if you're active or your kids are active and playing sports and on team sports or individual sports, everybody gets injured sooner or later. It's a guarantee. And then all of a sudden, the phone starts ringing. Joe, Baptist Health South Florida. I hear their sports medicine program is one of the best in the country. Yes, they have great specialists, great team doctors, and they have great facilities. That is true. That's all you need right there, man. You get the whole thing. And, the reason I'm talking about it, they got time not only for Inter Miami, the Heat, the Florida Panthers, and taking care of the Miami Dolphins, but also take care of all the rest of us, high school, college, professional athletes, and us. And I want to let you know, man, the next time you have an injury, one place to go, man, to see those specialists and to be a top sports medicine program, you got a specialist for every part of the body. 5 or 6 of the best knee doctors in the business, man. Shoulder, foot and ankle, hand specialist, back specialist, hip and knee replacement, Achilles. A lot of guys popping the Achilles right now. And we got docs that do nothing but take care of the Achilles. Hey, with great facilities like 595 and Pine Island Implantation, visit baptisthealth.net/ortho. One goal every day. Let's get you back out playing the sports quickly that you love the most.
7-free.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
This update is brought to you by Doral Kia in Miami at a Domino's game. You always find your abuelito, and whenever you want a low price, you save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Kia, starting with the Marlins, who won their 5th straight, shutting out the Mariners 2-0. Miami will go for the sweep tonight with the first pitch at 6:40 from Lone Depot Park. You can catch the game right here on WQAM. And in the World Cup, France will take on Morocco in the quarterfinals. Kickoff is at 4. Time for weather, brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping keep your home and family safe when the storms roll in. Visit tornadoroofing.com for your free roof and window estimate. Stay hydrated out there. Feels like temperature is going to be up to 110 degrees in parts of South Florida today. The Joe Rose Show continues now. All right, Joe, it's time to head out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale, one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, ToyotaofHollywood.com.
I'm really enjoying this tournament. It's been a lot more fun. It's been great having it here. The fan bases from all the different countries that have come over here, the United States, have just made it, and the stars have played like stars. So I had to find him. I had to track him down. Chris Whittingham, host of CBS Sports, Galazzo, and Apple TV MLS. Wait, it's been a while. How you doing there, brother?
Yeah, good. How are you, Joe? You all right?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm doing all right for an old guy. Thank you. Hey, God, Chris, there's so much to talk about. I got to get right to the Egypt, the finish, the ending to the Egypt up 2-0. Should have been up 3-0. And end up losing Argentina and the Messi shot to tie it up and the whole thing. But Egypt is really upset about consistency and fairness of officiating, calling it an injustice. What was your take? I don't know enough about it, and one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, they scored they get it away from them. They don't call a foul or penalty at the other end, and they go down and beautifully put together to score. And,
yeah, it's one of those. It's a modern one because VAR has come into the game. It's been 8 years now that video replay has been in the game, and I think that move kind of is the antithesis of what people wanted. What people wanted was really bad refereeing mistakes to be overturned. Okay. And that didn't feel like a really bad refereeing mistake. I still think it was a refereeing mistake, and I do think that the goal only comes because of a refereeing mistake. So I don't necessarily disagree with getting rid of that call, but I sort of appreciate all these people that are like you tuning into the World Cup that don't watch soccer very often that are going, wait a second, why is the sport that already doesn't have very many goals forensically looking over plays to get rid of more goals? So I sort of understand why people are upset about it and why Egypt would be upset about it, because not only did they have a goal chalked off, but then at the very end of the game, the third goal for Argentina starts with a move that could also have been considered a foul and actually a penalty kick for Egypt, which would have given them the lead rather than Argentina the lead. So I think that there's an inconsistency in the application, and unfortunately, it just always feels like it's Argentina who end up on the right side of it. So I think that's where a lot of the rage comes from.
Chris, it's funny because you know the complaining. You follow all our sports and know them very well here. And the NBA officiating, especially in the playoffs, people are mad. NFL officiating, especially in the playoffs. And now we're seeing it in the World Cup, and it's so funny. And then you go back and watch all these things are going on. But the one, and again, Egypt behind it, complaining about officials and referees coming from different countries.
Yeah.
They know where everybody, that's a different low. We don't do that with our officials, but when you go to the country, that's a passionate deal.
Well, and it's been kind of a fascinating few days for that. So the ref in the Argentinian game was French. And then in the France game, they got an all Argentinian refereeing crew. And so there are a bunch of people on social media going, well, wait a second. Wouldn't the Argentine ref want France out of the World Cup so that Argentina have a theoretically easier path to winning this thing?
Right.
And that is when you sort of get into loony land for me, because like I said, there was a French referee doing the Argentina game. In theory, if we're saying these are competitive people that want their country to win, the ref doing the Argentina game being French, the French referee would do everything he can to get Egypt through to the next round so that France have an easier final. So yeah, I think people get into conspiracy land with this stuff, and it's only because it's fueled by scandals of the past, not necessarily with referees through FIFA, but the Italian league had an enormous scandal with referees. The Turkish league actually just had a massive scandal where basically every referee was found to have a betting account of some kind when that's frowned upon. So there are these things that make you feel like the game isn't above board. But I think you have to take it a little bit more credulously and say that the people running FIFA know what they're doing on this stuff.
Chris, we critique everything everybody does in big games, and the superstars are under the microscope, no question about it. Landon Donovan went after Christian Pulisic like we don't even do with our teams. Very seldom go after him. He not only went after him personally, but he said his teammates, the sponsors, staff, and coaches are fed up with this guy and the people around him, including his family, his friends, his agents, and then just said nobody wants him, and they're killing him for not being involved with the team early when they were getting games together to build up some chemistry. I'm just curious. You know the guy, you know what this United States thing's all about. What's your take on Landon Donovan's comments towards Christian?
And it's not even just Landon. It's sort of been open season on Christian Pulisic. And I think this is something that a lot of people have been harboring for a long time. I'm not among them because I've never dealt with that side of the Pulisic machine, as it were. But I do think that there are a lot of people that have gone, we've been coddling this guy for a long time. We've been, not saying what we actually think. We know that he's the big star and we have to treat him like the big star, and that come this World Cup, he's going to deliver. That all of the other stuff that you've dealt with where he had a bad end to his club season and, whatever experiences other people have had. Like I said, I've not had them, but I know some people who have. And I think a lot of people were saying, if this guy doesn't deliver in this World Cup, then it's open season. I think people have been waiting for this for a long time. And it is a bit of a bummer because if you go back 10 years ago, when he was starting his career in Europe, even when he was playing with the national team as a teenager and the U.S. failed to make the World Cup. I don't know if you remember that game in 2017 when we lost to Trinidad and Tobago, and that was the reason why we didn't make the World Cup in Russia in 2018. Pulisic played in that game, and he was devastated after that game. So he's been with this program for a long time, and he has been the great hope of the team for that amount of time. And so the fact that he not only comes out and delivers a really poor performance, but then comes out afterwards, and it has been said to have been taken out of context, but after the game, after he dealt with an injury and after they got eliminated, he said, "Now I can rest." And that seems to have been the quote that really upset a lot of people. Ouch. Where people go, "Really, you can rest now?" Like, I thought you would put everything into this World Cup, and now you're looking forward to resting? No, you should be looking forward to licking your wounds, being upset, and all the things that we want our athletes to be upset about after they lose a game. But yeah, I think this was simmering under the surface, Joe, and now people are finally letting out what they really think.
Yeah, wow, I guess so. U.S. men's.
It feels a lot like Tua, Joe. It feels a lot like Tua.
Oh, we said that. That's already come up on the show. Yeah, that's like, really? Did you just say that? Like, I literally was coming in on Monday morning like, I can't. He did not say that. I mean, you're right.
Yeah.
And, it's it was bad. So I got to ask you, every 4 years we have this, where is the United States in soccer?
Yes.
Is it getting better? Our youth programs, can it get better with the MLS Academy teams taking these guys in their teenage years and developing? Some go, like Pulisic, go overseas, but they're always going to play for the United States. We're going to get there, and some of our NFL athletes and NBA athletes' kids are starting to play soccer. Are we ever going to look at having, number one of the best players in the world, and number two, a team that can be top 5 or 6 in the world?
I think at some point, yes, but it's just such a hard step, Joe. It's such a hard step that so many countries are trying to take. And yet, in all likelihood, if you look at just sort of the path to the semifinals, it's the teams that are always there. If you look at it right now, the path is probably France, Spain on one side, England, Argentina on the other. It's always the same teams. There have only ever been, Joe, 8 teams in the history of the World Cup. We've been playing this thing since 1930. 8 teams who have ever won it. And it's so hard for a 9th team. And that, I think, is the biggest step. So I think the U.S. have made a lot of steps from being, a team in the mid-30s to a team that never qualified to now a team that regularly qualifies, that regularly makes the last 16. But last 16 to quarterfinal is such a big jump, and it gets into all of the structural things, which is it's not our number one sport. American football is our number one sport. Basketball is our second sport. Baseball is our third sport. Hockey, you could argue, is our fourth sport. So you're not getting the number one athletes, which obviously is part of the conversation, if not all of it. Then you have, I think, the prohibitive cost of kids playing soccer, where you're losing. I think a lot of people slip through the cracks because, and Landon, actually, you mentioned Landon Donovan. He did an interview where he said that a study was done that only 2% of the kids playing organized club soccer come from families that make less than $50,000, which is the complete opposite of how the sport works around the world, where it's working class sport. Over here in the US, it's rich kid sport. And unfortunately, there is just going to be but so much of a ceiling when it's rich kid sport.
Yeah.
And so I think that there are any number of reasons why we're not there. But like you said, MLS is doing incredible work in this regard. A lot of the players in this current team were developed in MLS academies. They make the jump to Europe. You try and get better in Europe, but there just have to be more because the U.S. really lacked depth of this tournament. They only really trusted 13 guys. So you got to develop more players. And like you said, that idea of a world-class player, there's so many countries that have almost tripped into having world-class players, and somehow we haven't yet.
Chris, you know who the happiest American is right now watching this tournament? You're going, God,
who is
America.
that? Who is that?
That'd be the Moss brothers right now because Messi.
Yeah.
I have more people come up to me, Chris, and I know it happens to you. I got to go out and see this guy. Now everybody's saying he's one of the great. Now they're saying he is the greatest player. 39, what he's doing, his emotion, and the way he's playing in this tournament only helps Inter Miami in the popularity, which has already exploded.
For sure. And I think, Joe, sometimes MLS struggles with points of comparison where people think that MLS is a lower level, but I guess the question is how much of a lower level? And then when you watch this guy who goes out there and kicks everyone's ass every week in MLS, then do the same thing to the very best teams in the world, you go, oh, so this guy isn't washed and doing it against a lower level of player. He's still the same guy. He's still the same guy that can go out there on a World Cup stage and beat everyone. And when they're 2-0 down against Egypt in the last 20 minutes of the game, he can still be the one that summons the superstar all-time winning moments that get them over the line. And he's the guy that one of the great football nations in the world still relies upon at 39 years old. And it's not a Ronaldo situation where Portugal rely on him and he can't do anything.
No.
It's they rely on him and he carries them over the line. So I think that's the biggest thing for Inter Miami now is you can say, not only you're watching this great all-time great player, he's still a great player. You could easily see him winning the World Footballer of the Year award. This is the award called the Ballon d'Or. You could see him winning it if Argentina win this tournament because he has been that good. And that is the ultimate PR for, just because he's doing it at MLS doesn't mean these guys are bad. It just means that he's that good and you have to go see him.
Chris, I got to ask you, I know you're a young guy and sometimes older guys get upset with this, but is he the greatest of all time for what he's done?
You know what? I don't lean on my own judgment because, like you say, I didn't see Maradona, I didn't see Pele, I didn't see all these great players down the years. But by the way, people have been saying this since he was young, which is incredible. 2009, 2011, after he wins the Champions League, after he leads that Barcelona team, people have been saying this for such a long time that I am inclined to say yes. So even though there are, Pele won 3 World Cups. Maradona won 2 for Argentina and obviously had the incredible 86 World Cup in Mexico. There are some all-time great, and even there are people who will say Cristiano for what he did in the Champions League and all that stuff, but I'm inclined to say yes. And I actually don't even think it's particularly close, which is incredible. It speaks to how good he is.
Chris, man, it's great having you. I wish we had you around here every day. Chris, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, no worries.
Fantastic.
Anytime.
Appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Chris Whittingham joining us. Talk a little bit about soccer/football as all the stories and everything going forward here, including another great game today, man, with France getting ready to play. All right. Hey, we got to go to break here. A lot more stuff to get to. Craig Mish, pregame and postgame for the Marlins, is going to join us. We're going to talk to him coming up. Nobody's hotter right now than this Marlins baseball team. Holy smokes. Unbelievable story with what, 51-42 on the season, 5 straight wins again, and going for a second straight sweep today against Seattle. And by the way, if you're looking this weekend, they're in town against Cleveland. Right now, I want to talk to you about Choice Mortgage. Michael Kotze and his 35 years of experience need cash to pay off taxes, liens, judgments, IRS, high interest rates, second mortgages, credit card, debt. Call Michael Kotze at Choice Mortgage, 561, or text him, 561-441-2730. That's 561-441-2730. So I always say it's about great service. It really is. Getting you approved real quickly. The guy works 7 days a week. And if you own a commercial or residential property with equity, call Michael right now. He can help you get it. He's been helping Floridians for over 30 years. If you're looking to buy a home today, with very little money down, he'll get you pre-approved with little money down. Now's the time to lock in before interest rates might be going back up. So call a cell phone 24/7. This man is working. Call or text him, 561-441-2730. It's 561-441-2730. Nobody's going to outwork Michael Kotze and has the knowledge through all these years in South Florida to help you get approved quickly to get that money. MLS 166254. Rates and terms subject to change daily without notice. He's an equal housing lender.
The Joe Rose Show
Text message, data rates apply. Do not text and drive.
Yeah. Well, want to thank Chris Whittingham for coming on and spending some time. Truly, I mean, I think everybody likes. He's just so good, and he's good at every sport. I mean, this is not his only deal. He can sit down and do them all. We got a lot more stuff coming on. The other great story in this town right now is this baseball team is just playing. When's the last time you remember us? And I don't have any numbers in front of us except this thing from June 1st to where they are right now.
2003. I don't know. Last time they were this good?
By the way, it looks the part. It's not like.
Yeah, well, it was funny. You came back and we were watching some of the highlights from the game yesterday, and you go, man, these guys, look, they're a fun team. Like they're together. They're, celebrating in the dugout with the sign and the, all the stuff they do.
It's taken a while for them, and this is not a smart ass comment, for them to get on MLB Network and start to get some prime time with what they're doing. 51-42, now tied with the Phillies for second in the National League East. Just ran them down. 3 back of Atlanta, who's also cooled off here. 29th in payroll. I looked it up last night. $80 million payroll, and they're one of 8 teams with 50-plus wins. 25-8 record since June 1st. That's we're working on about 6 weeks of baseball that has been, and again, another shutout last night. I don't know what the number is, 8 maybe, but going for another sweep. Got a sweep out in Sacramento. Have the brooms out again today. Tyler Phillips has pitched really well. Another strong 5 innings from him, and the bullpen just did a nice job last night. Get a home run, or it seemed like they're hitting a lot more home runs right now.
Look, the other thing about the Marlins too, Joe, to go back to what you were saying, like there's always been this kind of negative feel, like a negative vibe around the team for a long time, right?
True. Yes.
Whether it was bad ownership, whether it was bad Yankees.
Oh, this guy's
that came
good.
in
We're going to get rid of him.
He was.
Yeah.
There was always that just like negative vibe around everything, and now it's like, all right, you got rid of that stupid thing in center field. You got different people running the show. Like all that stuff is gone. Like that to me is a big deal here, and I hope people will give him a chance and go back and kind of support the team here. But I don't know if people are going to go or not. But
I got to tell you, this is the first big test for me. Not necessarily this weekend. Yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I get it. And, last night I think they had 10,000 and okay. But
you and I talked about this morning. It is logistically difficult to make a weekday game there. I mean, it just is.
Yeah, traffic and construction around the traffic is not made it the easiest thing.
It's not Wrigley. It's not Fenway. Like, people are not going to kill themselves to get to a game during the week when they know they can go on the weekends.
Yeah. Well, so to me, and again, I want to make this clear too. I'm not sitting here because their games are on our radio station now. I just want to make people aware of how good they are and all the great stories. The manager's been great about coming on. But the other thing is, I'm never going to tell people how to spend their money.
No, but you can suggest stuff like so Sunday they have, if you bring your kids, there's first 10,000 kids get the Billy the Marlin shoulder plush thing. They got a 4 for $44 deal.
Yeah.
Where you get tickets, hot dogs, sodas, and popcorn.
Affordability is different than the other sports. I agree.
I don't know what parking costs are these days, $20, $25 park on someone's lawn if you want. But man, for $44, Joe, like there's not a lot of things you can do out there for that kind of money. Well, especially with a family of 4.
They have put together something. And I want to say this, the trade deadline is coming up early next month, early August. I don't want to get rid of the guys they have. They got a bunch of good young guys that look like they're going to be, you got a lot of guys you want to keep on this team. So that's not, I don't want it's about being a buyer. But the other thing is Sandy Alcantara, who makes a lot of the $80 million. He's the only guy. And I want to keep him. Like, you got to keep him. You can't be giving up. You got a nice rotation, especially with your top 3. And then when you get nights like last night, Tyler Phillips giving you 5 shutout innings, and he's been good the last couple outings out. That's a bonus. I just So everybody's like, oh, they need to make moves and get, and they do. And they do. And you'd like to add another piece. I don't know if that means it's a third baseman, or I don't know if it's about getting another pitcher, but I think they will do it. And I know what's on deck here, by the way, and you should know too. And that's a big lockout coming, a big lockout. Baseball union is going to fight baseball union does not want to look like the other sports. They do not want a salary cap. They like it the way it is. And I know what their argument's going to be too. Like, hey man, you guys are making a complaint. Marlins spend 80. They're better than most of the teams right now that spend a lot of money, what they've been able to do, and the Rays and so.
You don't think the Dodgers players are going to give some of the money back?
Well, they're not giving it back.
No.
They can't, like, the guarantee contracts are those $600 million contracts they've been giving out.
Don't they have Ohtani under contract for the next 20 years?
Yeah, no. And his, by the way, is at the short end right now. He didn't take very much money up front, but the back end, when he starts to decline, he can be making a lot of money. Hello, LA. Yeah, he'll be making.
I don't know that decline's going to happen. It ain't happening right now.
Nope. He's rolling. I think he's got the bat going now too, doesn't he? I've been paying attention that much, but yeah.
I know you don't like the Dodgers, but Ohtani is a very
listen,
player.
they're the best team in baseball. Because they actually, besides,
they have the best players.
No, but they spend a lot of money, but they got a really good, in fairness to them, Woody, they got a really good minor league system too. They figured it out. Unlike the Mets. The Mets spend more money than the Dodgers. That's a little misleading because what we were just talking about, Ohtani took less of his money up front, so that is misleading. But look how bad the Mets are. That guy do anything right now to win games. He spends money. I'm guessing the owner said, hey, can you back off, man? You're killing everybody. You're killing it. And by the way, the Yankees aren't exactly a cheap team either. But this Marlins story is a good one, and they've done a good job. And we're going to have to start talking here pretty soon about the front office and Peter Bendix and Bruce Sherman. And Clayton McCall's been a really good manager. He has, minus, the 7 innings of what the perfect game, and people still talking about that a little bit, but he's done a great job. Great job. Anyway, hey, Wood, we got more stuff to get to here. We got Craig Mish going to join us pre and post game on Marlins TV and host of Sports Grid. We'll talk to Craig a little bit about this baseball team. And there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of good things. Shortstop, second baseman, really good. Got a catcher. Boy, hit on this catcher thing too. This has been one of the really, really good stories, is how good their catcher is and how well he's playing on top of everything else. So, man, just a lot of good stories to get to with Craig Mish on this team going forward. Yeah, Joe Mack defensively and how good he's been has just been wild. Anyway, we got all that. We got football less than 3 weeks away. I see our football writers going, hey, less than 3 weeks away now, man. And we'll be talking. I wanted to say one thing here we talked about earlier, and the Dolphins are clearly behind every team and what everything's going on right now. It's just a fact. It's not up for debate. It's truly. When you throw in the 5 professional teams we have in this town and the Canes, who are now a professional team, as our main products down here, the Dolphins are behind everyone. They're behind in every way. And what they had to do because of, I don't know what other word to use except in past dysfunction, until they finally cleaned it up. And it's going to take a while. It's going to take a little bit, hopefully not a long time, but it's going to take, you're going to have to take a patience pill if you're expecting some crazy season where they're going to win a lot of games. I wish Omar wouldn't say that. I think it's terrible because it's just, we got a lot of guys playing this game for the first time, and we got a lot of guys that haven't done it at the highest level yet. We got a handful that have, but not enough, and we got to find more. I do love this GM. I love this head coach. I do. Finally, we cleaned house. I mean, we cleaned house in the front office. We cleaned house in the coaching staff. We got rid of a lot of guys that were just not worth the money. and injured guys. Tyreek Hill, hell, he may not play this year. Tyreek Hill may not play this year. We can pump everything up and where's he going to go? And he's going to be great with Kansas City. A lot of people don't think he's going to play this year. He's not going to be able to play.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. That's tough,
we didn't
man.
talk about that. And it's
play,
terrible,
I
man.
would assume his
terrible.
career is
And I
over.
don't wish that on Tyreek Hill.
You don't see him playing again, right?
No.
Yeah.
That's
crazy, man.
You know what? The last thing you want to do is hurt that thing again.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That's between he and the team doctors who Baptist health doctors have taken care of him and all those things. But again, the Dolphins, before everybody goes getting lathered up, and I'm pumped up to see all these young guys, and I call them the 21 club, the last 2 drafts, and see what you get out of them, because that's what it's got to be built around. You went cheap on the free agency, and you got a handful of guys that are really good players that you're able to keep, and Sealer and Brooks, and you can go through the whole list. Brewer, and you signed your running back, who's one of the better 7 or 8 running backs in football, and you got a couple nice offensive linemen that just need to stay healthy. Patrick Paul's going to be a really good one and really good left tackle. So you got some pieces there, but there's going to be growing pains of how good everybody's going to be, and nobody knows. We're doing our list of who's going to have the breakout year and all that stuff. A lot of teams aren't doing who's got the breakout. And we are. We don't know which guys are going to work out. We hope all our top draft picks are putting a lot on Chop Robinson as well in his 3rd year as a first-round pick and what Chop can do. So that's all. But I'm not going to sit here and just say to get everybody lathered up the Dolphins going to win 10 games. I just don't think that's fair. It's not fair to the coach. It's not fair to the GM. It's not fair to what they're trying to do, considering they lost more than half their money to dead cap money. Dead cap. That money might as well be in a cemetery.
Optimism.
I know, but
you guys did that last year, in fairness.
What?
You guys are big on that last year.
Well, I thought they still had a chance.
Yeah, they didn't.
I did. By the way, Lefty took a big step backwards last year.
You don't say.
To the point that he got run out of town.
Texter said we're behind on everything except fandom. This is a Dolphins town.
I agree.
Well, we'll see, man.
We'll
see what it's like if they ever win.
No, I agree, man. If they ever get this thing and they come back and they got a team that's built the right way for the right reasons, and you do most of it through the draft, and you hit on some guys in your new system offensively and defensively, yeah, it's going to be they're not going away. There's going to be some that are frustrated. I'm done with it. There's going to be some Dolphin fans that stop buying tickets. Stop buying tickets. But they're not going away. The fan base is not going away.
NFL's like a drug, man. I mean, you're going to watch that thing no matter what.
And by the way,
right,
of all years to have it, this is set up to have probably the best batch of quarterbacks coming to Hard Rock Stadium I can remember.
Here you go, Joe.
Starting with the top 2 guys, Mahomes and Allen.
954 said, after listening to Omar and going over the schedule, my friend, I honestly think 10 wins is attainable, and a 12-5 record isn't impossible.
You guys need to calm down. I just stop it. Stop.
10 wins would be
so.
Stunning.
Let me tell you what. You preach that stuff, and you're in the media, and now you go, instead of 12-5, you go 5-12. And it might be a good 5-12 as far as development of some guys, and yet everybody's going to look at the record.
So you're doing them a disservice.
What do you think? No, what do you think? Don't you have to take a deep breath? Just tell me.
I mean, I think they're going to be terrible, but I think there's some intriguing storylines.
I totally agree, Woody. I didn't say anything about the potential of good and seeing what their draft's going to look like, the first draft for.
And like, is Omar right? Like, yeah, I mean, if Malik Willis wins the MVP and all these other rookies end up being all world players, then, maybe it's just not realistic. But
Woody, we've had a bunch of teams that we liked here in recent years, and only one of them won 11 games.
10's hard, man. 10 wins are hard.
Last year's team was 7-10 and could have been 5-12.
Yeah, they didn't feel like a 7-win team.
We got a Saints receiver that drops the ball down the sideline.
Yeah.
And Washington over in Madrid had us play for that last field goal. and didn't get close enough. Should have been more aggressive to get it closer for that kicker who missed it. That was game.
It's okay.
Okay. But
I'm with you, man. I don't think this season's going to be, from a win-loss standpoint, going to be
I just want to leave and going. A lot of guys played well. Hey, Malik might be the guy.
That would be a really nice thing to say. That Malik's the guy. That would be a big.
I want to be able to. I want to be able to
shoulders.
come in and go, hey man, we had a lot of guys playing well, but people need to understand why we're in this situation. We didn't get all the horsepower that all the other cars have. If we're in a race, we don't have it. Matter of fact, we're in the slow lane on 95 while everybody's on the racetrack. Just to give you an idea, that slow lane. Sometimes they go and try to get in the fast lane, and you got to run around them, and you're screaming at them and flipping them off, and all those crazy
I thought you weren't doing that anymore.
Trying not to, Woody. Trying to control that blood pressure, brother. Trying to. Hey, we got more stuff to get to. We're running late here. I just wanted to just do it. I just don't like when our writers go out and say 10 wins, and now some guy's going, I actually looked, and I see 12 wins. Hey, man, let me tell you, if that happens, Coach of the Year, GM of the Year, and you're going to have a whole bunch of guys in the Pro Bowl.
They're not winning 12. They're not winning 10.
You just heard that.
I know, but 12?
What do
you think, they're going to win the division?
Just keep that between you and your family if you feel that way.
The only way that happens is if Josh Allen announces his retirement before the season.
I think it's more
winning the division.
Do you see this? The quarterbacks for home, for the teams you're
what's
playing.
The difference, man. Like every team that comes in is probably going to be better.
All right. Hey, listen. We got to go to break here. Yeah, we got. Yeah. No, listen.
From a talent standpoint, on paper, right now, yeah, they have the worst roster in football. Arguably.
I got to tell you, if you're going to get a game, you need to get that first game against Vegas. That's got to be on your list of they got their own problems. They got first pick overall for a reason, man. All right. Hey, listen, we got to go to break. Summer is here, man, and I want to talk to you about things you're going through in your life. Boy, mental health has been talked about so much mental health talk from everybody. Depression and anxiety for men. Hey, man, I've been sleeping well, waking up in the middle of the night with a zillion things on my mind going, what the hell's going on, man? My life's not bad. Why am I going through this? Well, listen, I just want to tell you, if you got it, you got somebody you really care about, and they just haven't been able to get over by themselves. Things happen, right, in your life and your family, and things happen, and wife might be leaving, your job might be leaving, your kids are struggling, it's affected you. Listen, man, Dr. Barry at Team Recovery Unplugged has you ready to go. They can flip things around for you. Their mental health residential program in Fort Lauderdale is a private, comfortable space to heal. It really is, with music-based care that hits the right note. They accept most major insurance plans. Dr. Barry's been through it, and he's got a great staff. I'm so glad I went down there for a few hours and spent to see exactly what I'm talking about, because it's been great. A lot of people are going. They accept most major insurance plans. Call 954-737-4508 or visit recoveryunplug.com. If you're going through it, or somebody you really care about's going through it and just haven't been able to take care of it themselves, please, this summer, heal out loud with Recovery Unplugged. They can get you turned around.
WQAM broadcast.
Then you got Caleb Williams from the Bears. Then you got Justin Herbert and Josh Allen.
Ooh.
Those are your home. This schedule, by the way, I'd love to sit down with this guy that thinks they're going to win 12 games. How on earth do you think they're like this? Even if the Dolphins were good, this would be a tough schedule for them to win 12 games.
That's as good a home schedule as
The road schedule sucks. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Joe? Like at Denver is brutal in December.
Yep.
At Green Bay in December, brutal.
Yep.
At New England to finish the season.
Yeah.
I know that like the quarterback's not going to melt, or whatever in the cold, but
I was just talking quarterback. We weren't even talking about rosters.
but you go at San Francisco early, at Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like these are, you have Indy in there. You have Indy and Buffalo back-to-back weeks. Look at November, Joe. November, you play New England at home, Detroit at home, then at Indy, at Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like who's picking 12 wins out of it? 10 wins out of this?
Who was the guy that I mean, again,
but
it doesn't matter. It's just he's a fan and he looked at the schedule and he believes that it's we've got the
they're going to be massive underdogs in a lot of these
21
games.
unknowns. I think a lot of them are going to be really good. I do. I think there's going to be 4 or 5 breakouts. Well, I don't know about 4 or 5. There's going to be two or three breakouts on last year's draft. Not the one we just had, but the year before. I think on the defensive line, the safety position, we're gonna have some breakout seasons. Right guard, we'll see. I don't know for sure on that one. And then how quickly do our 2 number ones, our second, what do we get out of our 3rd round? We got 3 third-round picks. That's going to be a really big one. The team talked about this open. It wasn't me, but the coach and the GM talked about our top 6 picks in the first 3 rounds are kind of a priority for where we're going to be going forward. We know one is a wide receiver that's not going to be able to play till, hopefully, knock on wood or whatever you have, be able to play in the second half of the season at some point. But what do you get out of your tight end and your other wide receiver? But yeah, it's going to be about growth. It's going to be about growth and how quickly these guys develop from the guys you have drafted. And then not just the guys, these guys they're only responsible for the draft that we just had, 13 strong. And I'm guessing a lot of those guys will play this year. Not all of them, but most of them. And we had something happen last year. I don't remember happening ever before where every draft pick played that much. I wasn't expecting Quinn Ewers to start 3 games at the end of the year. And he was good. And by the way, he looks better than he did last year. But I didn't see that. Every draft pick on this team got snaps. And I don't mean on special teams. They got a chance to play. Biggers, other, low draft pick, he played a lot of football in the second half of the season. So now you get your feet wet. I know how it was for me going from year 1 to year 2. You felt like you belonged and you weren't looking around at, oh my God, I just watched that guy on TV when you're like, I'm here. I belong here. And no, so I'm curious, and we'll see getting guys coached up and how quickly it comes together is what it's going to be. But yeah, I just wish Omar's the president of the club. I'm not taking shots at Omar, but the 10 win, because I know how people are going to respond that believe in Omar.
It's a very exclusive club right now, by the way.
We got a 12. You got a 12 jumped in here. I looked at the schedule. We got him.
That's like the VIP of Omar's club there.
He'd be he'd be the vice president, right?
Oh
with all that stuff. Hey, we got Craig Mish going to join us pre and post game on Marlins TV and host of Sports Grid. This is going to be fun to talk about what they've got going. Boy, I'll tell you what, in my eyes, I don't know if you're thinking differently, but you got to be a real negative Nancy if you're not starting to believe in what you're seeing from this Marlins. This thing's been going on now for a while. This is not something that just happened on like the last 4 or 5 games. They are now 51-42, and this thing started back in June 1st, and it has not slowed down. And they're getting it from everybody. It's not 1 or 2 pitchers and 3 or 4 hitters. They're getting it from a lot of different people. All right, right now I want to talk to you about something else I'm very passionate about. Two guys I talk about a lot. I call it Gary and Harvey, or Harvey and Gary. Harvey Cohn and Gary Judah, the partners of Cohn and Judah injury law firm, personal injury attorneys that are ready to make sure the guys that I can actually tell you with total confidence, knowing that they will handle your case from start to finish. They're the names on the law firm. And I don't know how many people I can say that about in this town that have TV commercials and run a lot of them, and national guys that are running a lot of commercials about family and their 5 or family in the 4. I don't know if they're handling cases or just spend a lot of time doing TV commercials, because I know my guys, Harvey Cohn and Gary Judah, they're going to handle your case from start to finish. They really will, with 35 years of experience, big enough to go to trial and get you multi-million-dollar results, small enough just to call you back. How about great communication? Kind of lost when you find out, first of all, that the guy that's names on the law firm doesn't handle cases at all. You get handed to somebody that's working on 300 cases at once, and then they don't have time to call you back. How frustrating is that when you have a slip and fall or an automobile accident, something that you're in pain with, and you want an update, you want to know how you're doing. It's important to you. You want to feel better, and you want compensation for it. Well, that's what these guys do, man. Again, big enough to go to trial and get you multi-million-dollar results. Go to CohnandJudah.com. Just read the reviews of what people are saying about Harvey and Gary. A lot of great things. I think you're going to love them. I know how I feel about them. They're great guys. They're even better. Great communicators, and also really good at getting you fair amount of money back. 866 fair fee. Remember this. They don't pay other lawyers to do the work you hire them to do.
The
Update is brought to you by Doral Kia in Miami. The Domino's game, you always find your Abuelito whenever you want a low price. You save with your Pricito. Save now with your Pricito at Doral Kia. Starting with the Marlins, won their fifth straight, shutting out the Mariners 2-0. Miami will go for the sweep tonight with the first pitch at 6:40 from Lone Depot Park. You can catch the game right here on WQAM. And on the World Cup, France will take on Morocco in the quarterfinals. Kickoff is at 4. Time for weather brought to you by Tornado Roofing and Contracting, helping homeowners stay safe this storm season. Visit tornadoroofing.com for a free roof and window estimate. Feels like temperature is going to be up towards 110 degrees, so stay hydrated out there. The Joe Rose Show continues now. Joe, it's time to head back out to the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, toyotaofhollywood.com.
All right, Woody. Well, still scratching my head on what's happening here over the last 6 weeks. Just an amazing turnaround for the Marlins. Craig Mish, pregame and postgame on Marlins TV and host at Sports Grid, joins us this morning. Craig, thanks, man. I know you got a late night and appreciate you coming on. 51-42. There's a zillion great stories going on. What kind of turned around? Like, I know it happened to be June 1st when this whole thing kind of exploded, 25-8 since then. What did you see? Like, I'm just curious with your eyes on this whole thing getting turned around and cleaning up the game at both ends.
Hey, Joe, good morning. Yeah, it's been remarkable. I mean, I did not see this coming. I don't think a lot. So we're all kind of like riding the wave right now. And as you know, being around a team doing so well and being part of the broadcast is even crazier, you know, like to have it play out like this is unexpected. But that question that you just asked me is probably the single most popular question that I'm getting, especially from people who aren't at the games every day and, you know, may have just been tuning in over the last few weeks, the last month on Marlins TV. I mean, I think that's a plausible question. So the one that I've given the most, Joe, is them calling up Joe Mack and Joe Mack taking over at a very high level defensively behind the plate. He seems to be playing like one of the best catchers in all of baseball. He leads the league in caught stealing, and he missed the first month of the season sitting in the minors.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Think about that. And then on top of it, his bat has been great too. Like, his bat has been probably better than what they expected. And he's just brought so much to the team at such a young age that I think that's what I point to, is that the quarterback is the most important position in sports. But I do think that the catcher is number two. I mean, the catcher, you're involved in baseball on every single pitch and every single play. And you have to have the confidence of your pitchers. You have to be able to block balls. They have to be able to throw it where they want, and they have to know that you're going to stop it. And he does that. And he's telling guys, go steal on me, and I'm going to get you. And he does it. I mean, it's like real Muto range here, what we're talking about. And look at the career that guy had. Yeah. So that's it. I think, look, a lot of other stuff, obviously, Joe. You know, I mean, Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards. I mean, these have been great players. But in April, they had those great players too. And then the turnaround only started, to me, when they called this kid up. So that's my answer.
Hey, I want to ask you about another guy that's changed positions, starting to look very comfortable doing it, but his bat has just exploded like the first half of last year. Kyle Stowers. How much of that you think for him? I thought maybe they took him out of the outfield because they didn't want him pulling muscles and going through all that where it was going to be less running. But whatever it is, he's starting to look real comfortable at first base. But more importantly, he's friggin' hitting right now.
Yeah, he looks like he did last year, and remember this time last year he was getting ready to go to the All-Star game in Atlanta, and I think, Joe, that look, when they say that you can't really have spring training during the regular season, I think there's something to that. Spring training may not be for results, but it's just simply to get in shape and just to make sure your body's ready for the season, and he didn't have that. And look, he'd never admit it, but I suspect that the month of May was his spring training here. And I don't think he was still even healthy in May. And look, you know, the bottom half, if you can't use your bottom half for a big guy in baseball, you can't do anything. And he had a couple of different lower leg injuries, one at the beginning of the spring in March and one at the end, and ended up missing a month. And now it seems like he's fully healthy. And I think you see the results too. I mean, he said last night that he feels like good things can happen now every time. He didn't say that bad things could happen back in May, but it sure felt like he was alluding to that. So yeah, I mean, as long as he stays healthy, it's a jump off point. And as you mentioned, he really played well at first base. That's been a surprise too. It's not an easy position, any position, just to pick up, but he's been really good.
So we kind of played rotating chairs here at third base, and then Javier Sanoja just kind of like, man, to me, he's not a utility guy anymore, although he has played different positions. Leave him at third, man. I love that little fireball being in that lineup every day. What are your thoughts on his third base play?
He's been great, but I don't know that they necessarily agree with that. I think that they would like to scale him to a 4 or 5 day a week player as opposed to playing 7 or 6.
Okay.
Because that kind of player in baseball, when you overuse them, they tend to get hurt. The best example I could give, especially for people who follow the Marlins through the years, is John Birdie. If you remember, John Birdie was like a similar situation. Everyone was yelling, why aren't we playing John Birdie? Why aren't we playing John Birdie? Then we played him, and he stole 50 bases, and he was amazing, and then we never heard from him ever again because they wore him out. So I think you got to be careful with a smaller framed player. Now, that being said, he'll come up in a lot of big spots. I do expect him to play quite a bit, but if there's one position that I think they need to potentially attack in the next month in terms of trades, I think that would be the position. I think it'd be third base.
Yeah, no, reading this, a lot of people saying that same thing. So I'm glad you brought it up. MLB trade deadline, August 3rd, still 3 weeks away. I know what the team has said, and I believe them. I think Bruce Sherman and by the way, Bendix has been unbelievable, and the moves that he's made, they're starting to look like, damn, they're starting to look Tampa Bay-ish for sure. What do you think they do if this continues? I mean, my God, they're 3 games out of first in National League East. There's only a handful of teams with 50-plus wins. They caught the Phillies. What do you do now? What happens?
Well, Joe, if they're in this position and they're 10 games over or 9 games over and a couple of games out of first and chasing the wild card, I'm not going to pour a bucket of water on this thing. That's not what I'm going to do here. So I would expect that if they're in this same position around the trade deadline, that they would push some chips in and try and get in the playoffs. And not only get in the playoffs, but I mean, the thought, Joe, of a home playoff game here.
Yeah, how about that?
We haven't had one since 2003. Like, I mean, I think, look, I mean, all in is a little strong here because, again, you don't know. And, being transparent with people who are listening, if the Marlins had to go to Philadelphia and play another wild card series, I don't know how that would go. Or if they ended up having to go to LA, I don't know how that would go. I'm just being honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
But at the same time, I think they have got to at least add some pieces to help the team get into the postseason, maybe similar to what happened in 2023 when they added Berger and they added Bell and they went on that run and, they didn't really give up too much and they ended up making the playoffs. I don't think people even remember they gave up almost nothing for those 2 players and they made it. So it's a lot to ask though, Joe. I mean, look at their record since June 1st. I mean, can that be sustained? I don't know. But we'll ask ourselves that question, I think, in a few weeks. It's still too early to know.
Yeah. So Clayton McCall was on yesterday, and I said, hey, he's been great about coming on, and I just said, hey, Clayton, man, no matter what happens, please don't get rid of. Outside of Tyler Hero, we've talked about trading Sandy Alcantara more than anybody else in this town. Please keep him. Please keep him. And I think ownership and front office really like Sandy Alcantara. I think they like his attitude as well as being a number 1 pitcher. What's your take on Sandy Alcantara, who just had a great June?
Yeah, well, Bruce Sherman he just did an interview on, I think it was Marlins radio, and then it was on MLB.com where he, basically called Sandy like a legacy type player, the kind of player that he likes to see, here for potentially a long time. You never know how things can change a day, a year, a week. Joe, I'd be shocked to see, to see him moved. I mean, especially by the way, if they were 500, I'd be shocked too. I just don't see that moving him. He has a very friendly contract even for next season, an option for $20 million. I do expect that to be picked up. And so I would not even worry about that. You know what I think, Joe? I think that if you start seeing that stuff in the national media about him being traded and stuff, it's coming from people who are just not informed. I don't believe he's going anywhere.
Good. Hey, Otto Lopez. Hey, man, one thing about baseball, anybody that's ever played, it's hard to have like every week's good. I mean, it's a hard game, man. To hit the way he's hitting, I think he had his 40th game with at least 2 hits last night. I mean, it happens every night. It's unbelievable. Here's a guy. What's with the breakout to being maybe the best shortstop in baseball? What am I missing here that a guy can turn things around in his late 20s like this?
It's just unheard of is what it is. He said it himself the other day, Joe. He said 2 teams threw him away. 2 organizations just discarded him. So, I mean, look, players and people change in life. I have nothing that I can just sit here and pinpoint to you and say, oh, yeah, like all of a sudden I saw this. No one did. His defense is great. He gets 2 hits every night. The most staggering number here is that he could end up having like a Giancarlo Stanton WAR type number. He may end up leading all position players in Major League Baseball in WAR at the end of the year, and that's how you give out a contract for hundreds of millions of dollars on so stuff. So, Joe, I got nothing for you other than I'm just watching. I'm watching the ride. I'm enjoying the ride here, and he's going to go to the All-Star game on Sunday night. Spend some time there. Fantastic. They're always on the field at the end of the game. It's been great to get to know him. By the way, he turns no interview down. Don't you love hearing that? Like always available, always around. Hasn't let any of this stuff get to his head. Tremendous guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's one of the things about sports, right? And we were just talking about teams and like how good are these guys we don't know. And then all of a sudden you get this breakout year and it's just, and you're going, well, it's probably just going to be the start. He'll slow down, and he's not slowing down at all, man. He has just been absolutely unbelievable. Speaking of that, I got to ask you, Marcy looks like you feel like he's starting to break. I know he went 0 for 3 last night. Starting to break out of it a little bit, does everything great except, boy, they get him hitting on a consistent basis with everybody else, including what they're getting out of left field and right field right now. Man, is he getting closer just watching him swing?
I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to that. I haven't really got an indication that, somebody has said to me, on the side of the dugout or on the field, like, hey, like it's go time for him. Haven't heard that. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where they say sometimes there's the sophomore slump in baseball. It seems like it's been extended for him. And I would say that he's still working hard. He's still trying hard. I think his defense has kept him in that lineup, Joe, every day, because if you're, not 24-8 and you're 8-24, I don't know that he's still playing every day like that.
Point.
You can hide stuff like that when you're doing so well. So look, I don't think that last year was a fluke. And I don't know what this year is, but my guess is he's probably wasn't as good as last year. And he'll probably be a lot better than what we've seen in the first 4 months of the season. So I don't know, Joe. We'll have to monitor that one. He's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, he's a pretty confident-looking dude, man. All the guys you watch play, and I go, he doesn't look like he's pressing, man. He just looks like he walks around like, I know I'm good. I don't care if my batting average is 190 or 290, and I get that. By the way, the guy playing next to him in right field has picked it up, man. He got off to the great start, and then he went into Funko Lola. Boy, he got real funky with them things, but he picked it right back up. He kind of jumped on that bandwagon in early June, didn't he?
Owen Casey, is that?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Owen Casey. Yes.
Yeah. So there's actually, you're right. I mean, in terms, we'll start with the good here, but in terms of his numbers, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's only 2 batters in the National League that are rookies that have more home runs than him, which really snuck up if you think about it.
Yeah, it did.
But unfortunately, Joe, he left last night's game with a calf issue.
Saw that.
He had calf tightness, and then after the game, they said that this was something not just from last night; it was from the day before, and he's having, I believe, imaging done today. So I think the fingers crossed on this one, but Joe, with an injury like that and a few days to go until the All-Star break, like this may just be the kind of thing where, they give him some time off and, they can stretch out any kind of time and bring him back after. But you're right. He's been great. I think caution will be the word for him. With only a few days to go until the break. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens today when they say what the issue is with his calf.
I see we got comments coming in here. For you mentioned third base at the trade deadline. If you're another starting pitcher, or more of a reliever? What do you think if you're this team right now from what you've seen that maybe you could upgrade?
Yeah, if it's my hat on with this, I definitely think that, and Roberto Hernandez has been great, and he's a right-handed hitter, and anytime that they throw lefties at the Marlins, they bring him in and he hits home runs. But I don't think the Marlins have enough right-handed slug to make a deep run in the end of the season in the playoffs. So I think they need a right-handed hitter of some kind, and I believe third base would be the right spot for that.
Okay.
And then the other thing is it's going to be tough in terms of bullpen because, Joe, you're going to hear like Aroldis Chapman's name being brought up a lot because he's on Boston and they stink and they're out of it. Your buddies in San Francisco, they stink. They're going to be out of it. They're going to be trading everybody.
They are bad.
But you know what? You know who the Marlins are fighting for these players? Everybody.
Yeah.
They're fighting the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Braves and the Phillies. So I can't just say, oh yeah, they're going to end up with Aroldis Chapman or some great reliever, because they're going to have to battle giving up prospects. And I don't know how far down the road they're going to want to do that. But if I had to guess, and we're sitting in this spot, first week in August, right-handed bat of some kind, maybe at third base. And yes, I think a relief pitcher probably in play as well. Starting, I think they're okay. I think they're in a pretty good spot, and I like how they develop these guys in the minors and bring them up. They seem to do a good job.
Well, they have done a great job. Craig, thank you, man. It's nice to come on when things are really, really good. I was talking early this morning how nice it is for the play-by-play and color analyst on TV to be able to just say, man, this is great. Just great story after great story. You don't get that all the time, and so it's nice. Anyway, thank you so much, bud. Appreciate you coming on.
Of course, Joe. Most fun I've ever had doing this right now.
Yeah, no question. Nice to go home, and the wife goes, honey, how'd it go tonight? What'd you think? And oh my God, honey, let's stay up. Let's have some. Yeah, let's eat. I want to talk to you. No, it's great. Thank you, bud.
And by the way, Joe, the other thing that's happened in the last, everyone wants to go to the games now. Like, people are texting me, hey, tickets. I'm like, wow, okay. Like, maybe something's happening here.
You know what,
But
Craig?
thanks for having me.
Yeah, but
it's
of
fun.
course. Thank you so much. Craig Mish joining us pre and post game on Marlins TV and host of Sports Grid. Always been a good friend. I appreciate him coming on. Atlantic Men's Clinic, ED and Low T, nothing to mess with. I know, Craig, it's not you, brother, but it was me. Boy, full-blown ED and Low T is nothing to mess with. And it's going to happen to every guy out there. So I'm not afraid to talk about it like it's just me thing. Oh, no. Low T happens to every guy, and so does ED. So your energy level, yeah, you probably started to notice. Everybody tells you, oh, you're just getting close to retirement, so you don't feel as active. And now you're even, when vacations pop up, you go, no, that's too much. All that walking and stuff, I don't want to do that. No, I want to go on a cruise. I don't have to do anything. Hey, man, listen, just because you got Low T, you can get rid of it. And ED, if you'd like to get your sex drive back, it was hit and miss, and now it's gone. I want you to go to Atlantic Men's Clinic. I promise you great results. I do, because I know how I feel. 2 years and roughly 4 months. It's been fantastic, and I know it's going to be great for you. You get the PSA test. You meet with this professional staff. They'll answer all your questions, and they'll tell you exactly what you're going through. They look at those numbers. They put you on a program that's made for you. And boy, you are going to notice a difference quickly. 7 locations in South Florida serve you, but you got to set up the first appointment. The hardest thing to do is set up the first appointment, because you're going, I don't know if I want to share this with people, ED and Low. I went through it. That's what I did. I don't know. And then you get there, and then you go, screw it. I want to get rid of this, man. I want to tell them everything. 877-455-7300. If you're going through it, you don't have to tell anybody, but tell the folks at Atlantic Men's Clinic, and they're going to get rid of it for you. You can visit AtlanticMen'sClinic.com. You are in for great results. 7 locations, a brand new one in Hollywood. I go to Plantation. Make sure you tell them Joe Rose said to give them a call at Atlantic Men's Clinic.
The Joe Rose Show is presented by Loctite Windows.
everybody as we move on here. Yeah, we kind of surprised, a little bit surprised by this Marlins thing. Make me feel better. Craig Miss is with it every day, and he's feeling the same way as this thing's kind of come together, and hopefully it can continue. 4 more games at home. Got a chance if you're going out tonight to get the sweep, get the brooms out against Seattle, and then a weekend series at home against Cleveland. So anyway, we've got all that, and we'll be talking about that. We're less than 3 weeks away from football starting up, and we got also obviously we're going to have a big soccer game at Hard Rock Stadium coming up Saturday, and we got some great games that are going to be here with a quarterfinal and a semifinal. Hey, so I see stuff coming in. I always love this with things, and listen, I get that you guys have a right, and listen, we appreciate everybody that listens and follows and everything else. Accusing me of not being a big enough fan of the Dolphins. Yeah. Listen, man,
you're not going to win that one, Joe. Last year, you're too much of a fan.
Yeah. Well, I'm too much. I'm not.
You and 7-0 Bo, and
yeah. I get it. But
they're not going to win 10 games. That's what you're getting at here. But
no.
I don't think they would win 10 games if they were a good team.
So
their schedule's rough.
Let me just tell you, any team, every team in the NFL, every team, no matter how good your quarterback is, every team is losing more than half their salary cap money to spend. Nobody's going to have a good team. They're just not. Because you have to do what we did. I don't know where you're drafting, but you're dependent a lot on your draft, if that was the case, and how many draft picks you have. And your free agency is going to have to be on the cheap. Or you got to get rid of some veteran players that you like, but they're making too much money, and the money that you're paying them doesn't match their performance, even though they're good players, because we had some. But you can't keep them. And then you throw in there a bad guarantee contract, and it was a bad guarantee contract to your quarterback, and that puts you that by itself. And you know the crazy part of this whole thing. Woody, you realize this is the first time I can really remember this. We're paying basically all of Tua's contract. So it's going to happen when he plays well. It's like, hey, thanks, Dolphins. Appreciate that. If I was Atlanta, hey, man, thank you. We only had to pay a little over $1 million of that 50-something million. So thank you, guys. Guys are great. We appreciate it. We're sitting there paying a guy on another team all that money, and all we get is dead cap. We get dead money. So, yeah. It's hard, man, and it's hard for everybody. I know that part everybody forgets about with this, love this, and all this stuff. And I just want to tell everybody, man, everybody else got this much. This is historic cap loss of money. Like, this is these numbers, and we just went for it, and I'm glad we did. Let's just clean it up. Let's get it done. Let's just clean all the crap out right now. Just get it done. And that's what they've done. But you just, for a zillion reasons, I'll give you 5 more tomorrow. Anyway, we got more stuff to get to here this morning as we continue. Chris Whittingham, host of CBS Sports, is going to join us from Golazzo, and so he'll join us. We'll talk about the World Cup. That's coming up next. Stay with us.
WQAM, broadcasting live from the Ed Moore Sawgrass Auto Mall Studios. Ed Moore Sawgrass Buick